I don't know.
Whatever.
They Tamar started. Her sister started the Tony Braxton challenge, where you have to sing songs like Tony. So it's been a whole bunch of people saying,
Let me address this mother in the middle real quick.
Who you gonna address?
This nigga here talking about he got the wrong young girl. Unless that bitch is Doogie Howser, she don't know half the shit us old bitches know. I would tell you that.
Doogie,
right now.
you didn't give him not only a Doogie, you gave him a dick too. Not Doogie Howser.
She's the wrong young bitch. These young bitches don't know a motherfucking thing. You ain't ready to game. Your game reflexes ain't the same.
You sound like you're talking from experience. I'm just here to tell you.
High five, motherfucking
What you got, Kyron?
All I'm saying is I'm in agreement with Ray G. Okay, I'm in agreement with understanding that they don't know. Not all of them know what the fuck they doing, but they don't come with the baggage either.
That's because you haven't created it for them yet.
Well, there you go. There you got it right there. There's the Bible. That's okay.
Welcome to another episode of Bring It to the Table. I am your host, CJ Emmons / The Eater.
Well, what we eating?
Well.
We live?
Some people eat.
It is great
We're
to
live.
be here. Yes, we are live, Byron. We are live.
What up, B?
Effect on you, bro. Wex in effect on you.
Looking like a
today's
from
liquor.
Kill Bill.
Today's
liquor is brought to you by. Is that Jägermeister? Oh, that's tequila.
Tequila.
It's 1800. It's 1800. I am drinking.
No.
Today.
But it's coconut.
Oh,
and it's so good.
Yeah.
I've had that
coconut.
before.
Oh, you have some coconut.
I'm drinking some.
I have coconuts all the
whiskey.
time.
I bet you do.
Jamaican whiskey.
No, Canadian whiskey premium.
Canadian whiskey. Oh, okay.
If any whiskeys, if everybody want to know what I like, I love Canadian whiskeys. I do not like American whiskeys because Canadian whiskeys are much sweeter and they have less of a bitter aftertaste. So, thank you. If you ever want to know what to get me as far as drinks, give me some Canadian whiskey. All right.
And this is some Peach Crown Royal.
Let me tell you.
I know what this is.
Tell you. And what
water?
I've been doing.
Is that water?
Since I've been taking. Is that water? That's good. That's good. Good premium top water is always great to drink.
I have some water somewhere. Where's my water?
Well, I'm gonna also tell you how's your. Let's start with Gene. How's your week been?
It's been very eventful, very busy.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't talking to you.
Yes, he was talking to me.
I said Gene. Let's start first with Gene.
Oh, I thought all I heard was Virginia. All I heard was Virginia.
You didn't hear no Virginia. You heard what you wanted to hear.
I have to.
It makes me an alpha male.
No, it doesn't. It makes you not listening.
I gotta
laugh. I'm gonna put some tape over that shit.
Let me see. Do it.
Oh, because you would enjoy
it. Hey. We are not gonna break protocol, but stop talking over each other. So as I was saying, Gene, go ahead.
Like I was saying before he interrupted with Virginia's bullshit.
I did not interrupt you.
Doing well.
Good.
It was a good eventful week, very busy professionally. But it is what it is. I can't complain, actually. I just got that alert today for the stay-at-home order. Don't think anybody.
I did too. It scared the shit out of me because I was driving and the Bluetooth was connected to my car.
Yeah.
And so when it went, I was like, "Oh shit!" While I was driving.
They told us they got at home.
So B, how you doing today, B?
I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what? When it's one of those bipolar days, I just call it unbelievable. You wouldn't fucking believe it. It's just unbelievable.
We got Tanya. Hold on a second. We're gonna bring Leland on. Leland, you already got people talking about you're beautiful. So hold on a second. We're gonna bring
Lord.
I don't have attack for Leland. I've been inboxed many times about you, Leland. I'm like, listen, leave the man alone.
It's them braids. They want them braids slapping against their ass when he hitting them doggy style. That's what it is.
Tell me about Leland. I'm like, tell me about Leland. What? Are you supposed to be asking me this?
I tell you. You
Who's
know,
on there asking about me? Who was there?
We're gonna come back to it, Leland. We're gonna stroke your ego a little bit later. But hold on.
No, I ain't trying to get stroked. Byron, you need to tell him I don't need no stroking.
This is true.
You don't need
trust
that.
me, I don't need that.
You look like somebody that got a bitch in every city too.
Yes.
Hey, what do you mean two? What you talking about?
Hoes in different areas. You know
To
what?
the other motherfucker I know.
I already see how this today is going to go because Leland, you are bringing up a conversation and an attitude out of people because of this next topic that we're going to go into today. So I already see where this is going because just like I said last week, these 4 window panes contain 4 alphas. And this is going to be an interesting topic today. But what I do want to ask you, Leland, how was your week? How are you doing today?
Building, growing, and flowing, brother.
Yeah. Anything happening?
I'm a happy brother, man.
That's good.
There ain't nothing in life I'm ever gonna complain about. I almost got a speeding ticket trying to get here though to get all this shit on.
Oh no!
And trying
Not
to
the
get
ticket
here.
of the speed.
I didn't want to piss my brother off and be like, damn, this nigga. I tell him to come on, and the one time he gets to get on the damn show, he don't even show the fuck up. I made sure
we are related. In here. We are related. We are definitely related. That's why
I made sure I was here, B. Trust
I got you,
sure.
I got you, fam.
I want
right
somebody
here.
out there. I want somebody out there to take a picture of this window frame because we are some good-looking people on this show right now. I'm just IJS.
I'm just saying.
Before we get into the topic, Leland, let's talk about some of this these COVID things. So in England,
hold on, we must give a disclosure. Disclosure.
Right. Where's my mind today?
Yeah, we're not doctors.
Afraid about where this is about to go. So please put your children and your senior citizen up. They may not be able to handle the future conversation that's coming within the next few minutes. Bring them back when it's over. We'll deal with them then. I'm sorry. Now you may go, CJ.
So let it rip, Gwen. Let it rip.
The first round of COVID has already been issued. There's a 92-year-old lady in Britain who got one of the first COVID shots today. Right now, they're targeting frontline workers and things like that. So are you guys going to be in line for the COVID test when it happens? Because we're probably going to get it. The civilians are probably going to get it around March or April, spring of 2021. So are you guys going to get in line to get it?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody in this portal, I know, I don't do lines.
That's one. That's one. We are for bougie motherfuckers. I'm not standing in line.
I don't. Low comprehension there.
Right.
They may have a private room, a private jet.
There's a line. Count us out.
So are any of you going to get it?
No.
Okay, good.
If you look at my post earlier today, I've already had to cuss 2 people out. If you actually read my post, it says I'm 100%. But I 100% believe that everybody should receive a vacation, not a vaccination. It just happens to be a vaccine.
I love that post. A paid vacation. Paid vacation. Yeah.
No.
Say if you are forced to get it, what are your thoughts?
How would they do that?
Yeah, they would have to give me. If it was forced on me, it's going to be in a corpse.
Yeah.
That's how serious I am about that shit.
I'm grateful that I don't have any young children. My son will be 20 this year, which means he won't be forced to get it in school because I think they're going to force children to have it in order to enter back in school.
It'll be a part of the vaccinations like measles, chickenpox, things like that. I think it will become a part of the inoculation list that they have.
They're going to create an uproar and a revolution.
They are. And I work for a company that doesn't believe COVID is real, kind of. They don't even care. So that's also grateful because they won't force it on us either. However, I won't be working there by the time that happens.
Right.
But so I'm grateful that I can protect my family from that standpoint. It would bother me if my son was still at school age and had to go through that because I would be running around here trying to figure out how to be sovereign so I could X him out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. No.
Never.
I think it's too soon.
Never.
You know,
I'm not
there
sure I
something
can say
that.
the things I want to say on here about how I really feel about this.
Yeah,
shit.
come on.
Yeah, you can. We don't give a fuck.
No,
so
you
why
can. You can.
do?
It's okay. Go ahead.
Al, if you unleash, I'll unleash with you, and you know that'd be really ugly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Really?
because what I feel about
tell.
this shit, man.
Well, that might be a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is another show because I'm telling you, man, this shit. I've been studying this shit since it started. I'm real serious about that health shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of this shit don't make no sense, and everybody knows that. Anybody watching what the hell is going on in this country right now knows this is a bunch of bullshit. This shit ain't even rolling the way this shit is supposed to roll. Like, this shit is just ridiculous.
This is all about control, power, and money.
Yeah. You see how far they can get. Well, let's put the mask on them first. See how long they do that shit. Okay, they doing that now. We gonna make them do this next motherfucking thing they got to do.
Right. And by the way, you can have 30 people at a funeral, but only 6 at home for Thanksgiving. So go ahead and figure that math out.
Well,
I love
children,
the post you put up about that. You said, you know what? We having a funeral for my turkey, so I got 30 motherfuckers in the house.
Yes. I was like, oh, 30 people at a funeral, 6 people at home for Thanksgiving. We will be having a funeral for my pet turkey.
Yeah, no, I think with someone had also released something that said, how is it that we can't be at a funeral, but the bars are still open in certain areas? Now, I will tell you, I saw that firsthand. I just got back from Florida last week, and some of the places we went to, they were very lax with their COVID procedures. I mean, the bartender kept trying to ask me what my drink was with his mask. I was like, I can hear you. Put your mask on. I can definitely hear you. And plus, his breath was like hot garbage. I was like, please put your mask back on. Like, this is not what I don't want. Never mind. What the next bartender? I don't want nothing from you, bro. But
everything where I'm open is open.
Let me tell you, and people are forgetting.
If you go to Arizona right now,
hygiene.
It's been open.
Yeah,
but they were very lax. I mean, people sitting at bars, people were sitting, all together at restaurants. There were buffets that were open in Florida. Buffets.
When we were in Vegas, no buffets were open.
There were buffets open in Florida. We went to one, and I was like, no, we're not going to this because we didn't know it was a buffet. We just heard about the restaurant. And so when we got in there, it was kind of like, what is the restaurant called? Boca de Pepe? Or is it? Yeah. Well, they carry the meats around and things like that.
Oh, Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de Chao. Thank you.
Fogo de Chao.
But it was like a more higher in whatever. But when we got in there, we saw people. There was a salad bar in the middle of the place, and it was just, I was like, oh no. Walking in here just gave me COVID. I can't eat here. No. But Florida, yeah, they don't. And I remember asking one lady, she said their governor is really trying to prove the point that COVID isn't real. Although the president has had it, Rudy Giuliani has had it.
Brazil doing the same thing. Same thing in Brazil. Brazil president already said he ain't fucking with no vaccine.
Good.
Same thing in Sweden.
Yeah, and Sweden. And did y'all see the video with them singing? We don't want, you can stick the vaccine up your ass.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, I gotta send that to y'all. It's like 1 million people in the street singing.
Don't get me wrong, it's a flu. But the only concern I have is the more we bucket, the more I feel like they're gonna put something out there that's really gonna change the world to prove a point.
That's what they're gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do.
Did you guys see the video of Australia? Australia right now, there is only 47 people. There are only 47 people in Australia who have the virus, and they are walking around with no mask on. They are totally clean and free of it.
Let's keep it real. Tom Hanks went to Australia. He was one of the first people to get it, and he went to Australia to get better. Nobody paid attention to that.
They really have only 47 people have it, and they are in a hospital being quarantined as we speak. And I thought it was amazing. Right now it's summertime in Australia, and they were out there having a great old time. And I just looked at that and said, can we get to that? Can we?
Hold on for a second. COVID is real. It is a real flu strain. I've lost a family member. One of my best friends in Maryland is sick with COVID right now, and that hurt my heart to hear that because she has 2 little children. We're not saying it's not real. We're saying what they're doing about it isn't real. How they're handling it isn't correct. Let's use
agenda based. It's an agenda based.
Yeah.
It's some stupid shit happening right now. Stupid.
On yesterday, President-elect Biden said that when he gets inaugurated, he's asking for 100 days of masks, and I don't see anything wrong with that. He's saying that it's going to be mandatory.
I don't see anything wrong with
that. He's just asking for 100 days of mask, and it will be mandatory. And I hope they do implement and execute that, because it's a lot of motherfuckers out there thinking that COVID ain't real and that they don't have to wear masks, and that it's taking away their liberal rights if they wear a mask. And it's like,
let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this. Okay, so the mask thing, you got there's a problem with this whole vaccine thing. First of all, we know that when this vaccine first was getting tested, it was being tested in Africa. Yeah. They've been killing Africans with vaccines for the last 20 years. Yeah, for years. So that in itself let me know that there's an agenda base of people of color. That's where the attack is going to be. So say people that aren't of color, this vaccine might not do what it's going to do to us, to them. Because our biology is not the same. We have a whole different biology than everybody else that's here.
That's right. We have DNA strains that don't exist in others.
Exactly. And what do we need more than anything else on this earth? The sun.
The sun.
So you take the two things from us that we need most primarily in our lives, the sun and our oxygen, weaken our immune systems, then give us a virus that's made just to hurt us. In our weakened immune state, that's a problem. And that's the agenda.
But hold on, though. What I will say is that has been the agenda since the dawn of time. And
yes.
It's not worked.
They hate us.
What happens is crack was an agenda. Now you got white people smoking crack and meth. Now it's a sickness. When it was just us, it wasn't a sickness. It was a drug problem. So I'm a diabetic. I'm supposed to have a weakened immune system. However, I do not. I take care of my immune system very well. And I don't believe that I will be as affected as others who don't take care of their immune system very well. You don't have to be a diabetic to not take care of your immune system. So when they say that I'm at risk, I believe I had COVID twice already. We talked about this in February and then once at the end of the beginning of the year. But I didn't once believe I was going to die from it, because I knew what to do from an herbal standpoint to take care of it.
I think it's primarily people that have challenged immune systems anyway. Older people who are not well, people who don't eat well, people who don't take care of themselves at all.
But if you tell someone that they have that has a sickness, oh, you're at risk. Well, what if you have a sickness but you take care of yourself? You're not at risk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always taken care of my immune
And if
system.
you do get it, even at being at risk, well, like you said, not at risk, but even if you do get it, you will be able to fight it. Your immune system will shut it off.
And the black people or the people of color that are able to fight it are the ones that they're gonna really want to study later.
Yeah.
But that's different. That's a different.
Well, does everybody know their blood type?
Yeah, I do.
Ruben had a good point.
I do.
Yeah, I do. Is that a question that you want to shout out?
I don't know. I'm an A+. So.
Well, because they said blood types, of course, have different defenses of immunity.
Well, I got the oldest blood on Earth. O positive. It's the oldest blood on Earth.
I don't have O positive. I'm A+. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the oldest.
Oh, you're A+? Yeah. I believe I'm O negative. Yeah, it's because some people think that, and I know a lot of my Latino friends, they eat towards whatever their blood type is, and a lot of the elder Latinos, they definitely try to eat what their blood type is, because that's what they were taught as kids. I didn't know this information until I asked a couple of weeks ago.
Actually, very smart.
Yeah, that's why a lot of them live very long time, and they have amazing skin and beautiful looks and blah blah blah. And they eat a lot of things, with photosynthesis, because, greens are the key of life. I've always believed that. I've seen it work in cancer patients. I've seen it work in everything. Greens are the key to life.
Every biblical book tells us that. And every book that's ever been written says exactly what you just said.
Yeah. No.
Where did you go?
Can I pause myself? My dog is driving me crazy to go outside.
Yes.
Sure. We'll see you in a bit.
Read the book. Eat right for your blood types. Absolutely,
Tanya.
Hey,
look at the little. We're all dog.
We're all dog. I lock
have dogs?
My son has my dog because he will bark through the whole thing. I have a Shih Tzu, so
my dog is upstairs. From what I hear, he's up there playing.
He grabs my leg. I know what that means. And I ain't cleaning up no piss or shit because y'all want to talk to it.
Oh yeah. No, take care of your
right.
business. We'll see you in a bit. Take care of the little one.
Where did B go? He just disappeared.
It's like Bewitched.
Hey, I got a question. Did you see the fight last week with?
I did not see the fight last week. I was. Well, I was doing something. It happened. When?
With Roy Jones and
what day was it? I was doing.
I can't remember what day it was. But
I was doing something. The reason why I couldn't see it. Was I in Florida?
You might have been.
I think I was in Florida. Yeah, I think I was in Florida.
Yeah. B, did you see the fight with Nate Robinson
and he went and changed clothes? Oh, he's Charlie Brown right now. Oh no, he's
Really, Charlie?
I tell you, he went and changed clothes.
Wardrobe change.
I ain't doing that. I ain't got time for that.
Well, you know,
I got time for that.
So let me also tell you what I've been doing since the new shutdown.
I was already in yellow.
What?
I've been pickling items.
What is that?
So these are pickled. These are actual pickles at the bottom. The real thick kosher pickles, whatever. And this is also sweet peas at the top. And I'm telling you, they are so good. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of culinary shit since this. Oh, you know, I was like, why not? You know, hey, I ain't doing nothing. But they're great in wonderful blue cheese salads. They are great to just snack on. I mean, it is amazing. I've become, you know, Mario Stewart up in here. You know, it's great.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. All right. So to a lot of people, I'm going to tell you this. Also, Byron, I know we're going to talk about the alpha male and alpha female, but I also wanted to discuss mental illness because it is running rampant right now. And I want us to get to the point we can talk about it to where it's normalized. And I just feel that with mental illness, your first step is to recognize that you do have it. And I believe that the way that you tell people that they have it is not to combat or argue with them, because a lot of them don't believe they do have it. But it's been showing up so frequently in things that I've seen. And I just want to know, how is everybody doing? And are you guys seeing, because of COVID or just, you know, because things are now being exposed, are you seeing different levels of mental illness?
Yeah, I have several levels. I'm trying
But yours existed before COVID, so
This is true.
I think the emotional strain is a lot heavier.
Oh my God!
Than the death strain. You're talking about children abused at home, wives abused at home, drinking, drug use. All that shit is ramped up at 100 right now.
Yeah,
they're not even talking about that on the news.
They're not at all. Not at all.
But that's what's really going on, because people are in such an emotional fray right now. Like, not everybody, but there's such a vast majority of people who, that middle America, they tight right now. I'm talking.
It's like fog. It's like a fog that's just covering people.
Yeah, they tight right now.
Let me go ahead.
It bothers me that because you're right. There are a lot of children and women right now that were able to disconnect through work or through education or through just in the world, period, for a small period of time before going back to that situation, that can't do it now. And no one's talking about it, right? That's the extreme end of the spectrum. I think the other end of the spectrum, if you have someone who is, I think all of us can function without people. We know how to function with people, but we're okay to function without people.
Being alone is just fine.
Being alone is just fine.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
I'm actually happier.
I am too. The only mental
people, I'm good.
It's facts. The only mental strain I've had is I do miss my mom and my my family that's on the East Coast. I don't like the fact that the decision to go see them has been taken away from me. I don't like that. However, the people who are dolphins, who just need to be around people, who feed off of people to survive, they have to learn who they are.
A lot of them don't make it.
I think too, this has COVID and this lockdown and just, what it is, has exposed people for their truth. I think it has opened up people for those who have been socially untruthful are now.
Say it again.
Those who have been socially untruthful are now beginning to have themselves revealed. And I think now, because you can no longer hide anymore. Nobody cares about your $40,000 car or your $5,000 watch
that
or
might not
anything
even
like
be
that,
yours.
because now all you have to do is look at them by yourself in your home. And I think that because people's truths have now been exposed, the level of mental instability has heightened. And I'm gonna tell you something, I ain't here for it. I am not here for it, because I have gone through this life with everyone trying to tell me what I need, should, or do. And I'm just, I guess, at the point where now, because of mental instability of others, I am now like, fuck you. Okay. And I just am. Because I figure that if you are going around and you have so much mental angst and you're not willing to open up and tell people, hi, my name is so and so and I need help, then fuck you.
But that's the majority of people out there, CJ. I mean, because because the anxiety and the stress and the depression, and forgive me, I hope this doesn't trigger the women on the show, but it's a parallel or metaphorically matching that of rape, right? So it's like it's like people that have gone through that live in a quiet desperation. In fact, as we know, more than 60%, if not 70% of women that have been raped don't even, because of the embarrassment, because of what they have to go through, the pain, the anguish, the stress. And it's the same thing in regards to those that have that anxiety that Leland was just talking about, that is raised up 10 notches. You have people that in that social, as Jay was talking about, that are used to being in the public eye, are used to having conversations. They're fighting to be heard. I'm fighting to not hear anything.
Say it again.
I don't want to hear your extra conversation. And that's, I mean, it's not one, it's like a myriad of people that want to voice themselves. And I'm like, keep your conversation. Go find somebody who wants to hear what you have to say. I'm at this state right now where I'm really in an ISO state. And like you all said, I enjoy myself.
Me too.
Like, I really do enjoy myself.
I have always enjoyed myself.
You know,
this is why we get along. I can go to the movies by myself. I can go to the bar by myself.
Yes,
I've always enjoyed myself.
As a woman, I have a lot of female friends, and it bothers me to the core that you can't go to the club by yourself and meet me there. We got to ride together. That shit pisses me the fuck off. Bitch, I'll meet you there and I'm leaving when I'm leaving and I'll get there when I get there. Like, I am okay with that.
I can count how many times I put a person in my car. Jay, you know that. As like, I don't care whether I got 5 seats, 4 seats, 1 seat. I don't want nobody in my car.
I didn't buy this Mercedes so I could ride with you and your shit, bitch. I'm rolling up in my shit like a superstar.
Wait. Did y'all catch
when it's time?
Showing up alone every time.
Every time.
What Byron said?
Every time.
Byron said 5 seats, 4 seats. I said, not Dr. Seuss.
Yes. But I have a friend. She was like, "Can we ride together?" No, because guess what? When I'm ready to go, I'm going. I'm leaving.
I'm out.
So let me. I
want to get there when I get there.
When you see signs in other people that they know they're having some mental instability, what do you do?
It depends on who they are.
Right. That was I was gonna say.
Run.
Because here's what I do. I choose not to engage.
It depends on how much I love you.
I'm gonna let you have that by yourself, because I'm telling you, there is too much going on in this. I'm a creative, and the last thing I need is some bullshit that you have been thinking on for 10 years and ain't been able to express it, and now you bitter.
And that's why.
Hold on, I'm a mother, right? So I can't do that to my son.
Shit. Oh, that's a child. That's a child. That's
what I'm saying. So even though he doesn't have any issues, what I'm saying is it depends on how much I love you.
Yeah. I got grown children, and I'm gonna listen to them.
Right.
I'm gonna listen to them because the world is not going to listen to them the way that I'm gonna listen to them. You can
parenting is separate though.
No, I just wanted to give him the perspective of what I said. Is why I said.
But CJ got people. He's got somebody he would listen to though. There are people in that group he's talking about definitely there's somebody that would get his ear regardless.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's one that I'm good on.
Well, there might be several that
this conversation is about them.
So, but it causes me because I think about people who are undiagnosed bipolar, who are narcissists, who are oh, I'm sorry, Bart. I didn't mean to tell people who you really are. About
what?
I'm very clear about who I am. I embrace my narcissism, my humility, my love, my fuck you attitude.
I had to wake your ass up.
My short temper, my low patience. My patience is at such a low right now.
Not lower than mine.
I know, girl. It'll be a duel. It'll be a duel.
You know why? You know why you can separate the person from their sickness is because one is in truth and the other is what you want to see, what you want people to see. And I think a lot of times mental illness is because it could be the and I'm not a doctor, y'all. I'm just talking about from what I've seen with these two eyes. It is sometimes a chemical imbalance that does need medical attention and medical help, but a lot of times it's when you have lived in your untruth for so long, and now you in that shit by yourself. Everything is coming up and you don't know how to deal with it. And instead of you just coming and just saying, hey, I am sick and I have this issue because of my life and how things have been and I am not well, you'd rather be a bitter ass bitch and fuck with people because you fucked up. And that's where I have the problem.
Okay,
you
so
fucking with people because you fucked up.
That gets into my second book, CJ, which is called Boundaries, coming out in 1 year.
Hold
because motherfuckers don't understand boundaries. It's like, if I said I'm going to respect your boundaries, respect my fucking boundaries.
If you're sick, you don't have boundaries.
I'm sorry, Gene. I'm going to say this. Do not fuck with me if you are fucked up because I'm not your issue.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. People who tend to have fucked up personalities know to leave me alone within the first 10 fucking minutes because I have a reservation. I have a reservoir for those that matter. And I'm gonna give you an example. Someone inboxed me today because they didn't read my post and was like, I can't believe this. Explain yourself. And they hadn't read it. They didn't read that it said vacations instead of vaccinations. And my response to them was, I don't owe you an explanation for anything. You are a stranger. And because you're a stranger, you haven't even earned the right to ask me a question without permission.
Yep.
Reading is fundamental. I suggest you read the post. God bless you.
Not the fundamental reading.
His response was, I thought you were kind and loving. My response to him was, I am to the people I love. And you're not one of them. So if you don't understand your boundaries, I'm going to help you understand them quickly.
Yeah.
You, CJ, you are such an empath and you attract so many people. You will allow people to overstep their boundaries the first time. My reservoir is full.
Hold on. I wouldn't say the first time.
No. If you love them already.
Hold on. It depends.
If you love them already.
No. It depends on if I see a potential in that person and I forgive their attitude.
Okay. That's the same thing. I don't give a fuck about the potential and you will forgive your attitude.
No, it's different. And if you're going to summarize me, do it right. But no.
But what I'm saying is, look at him. Listen.
I start off not liking.
You don't like nobody in the beginning,
right.
But the people that I'm talking about are the ones that you give that extension to. I'm not talking about the people who...
Now, okay. But that's what I'm saying. You're gonna summarize. You better break that shit down because I know you like to go full force first. Then you go back and break it down.
The irony of the conversation is I had a conversation with my cousin today. My cousin oversteps his boundaries consistently. Consistently. There's just certain people in your life, they just have a deaf ear. They're ignorant to it. So even in, like Jay just said, certain people, they know up front. There's some people that just are so stuck on stupid.
Oh, I ain't heard nobody say it in so long. I love that. Stuck on stupid. I love that.
It's like they can't get it out of that gear. It's just stuck on stupid. No matter what you say to them, they are not listening to where you are. And you get off listening to where they are. And in his conversation, he was trying to tell me how are you doing in this time and what's going on? And you travel all the time. You're always on a plane. You're always in front of people and this and the other. And it goes into my chapter coming out in the first book, which is people hold you hostage to your past. Fuck that. I'm a completely different person than you knew
every day.
You don't even live there anymore, and they want you to move back
every day.
Every day.
You got to check on me daily. Daily, you got to check on me.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I change like the wind, and those three at that bottom know that, because they can say, CJ, we're gonna go out at 7. At 6:50, I'm like, I'm in the house. I ain't going nowhere. It's just, and if I can change that quickly, who the fuck do you think that I am? Because I am not what you. Oh damn! My Amazon thought I said echo, and she started talking. She did.
See the world that we live in right now.
She was like,
I'm sorry.
She did. She said, "I'm sorry. That is not what I know." I was like, "Oh."
I was reading, CJ. I was reading an old post that I wrote over a year ago, and especially from a leadership perspective or a leader's perspective in any realm of life, people want to tell you, and Jay and everybody around me knows I'm really big on communication.
Yeah,
you got to fight for communication. You got to fight to understand. And so, in that post and what I was writing in a blog, it was, people think that the key is communication. The key is not communication. The key is understanding and comprehension. Because if you don't, I could talk until I'm blue in the face, but if you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, then no matter how much communication, you know.
Yeah, and again, I think what I'm also addressing is, I'm noticing manic depressive states that people are communicating in, and which to me is also stemming from deep-rooted bullshit that you haven't addressed.
Right, exactly.
And
which isn't your problem.
Which isn't my problem.
It's not my problem.
I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. Not here for it. Not here for it. You know?
Okay, we're gonna get on. That's a whole nother topic. I
you hear me, Satan? I ain't here for it, Satan.
Let's talk about these alpha
so
people.
Now, look. So we brought Mr. Leland on, ladies and gentlemen.
That shift.
And ladies, he likes to be called Mr. Leland in certain times.
All times, brother. All
times. You know, especially, you know,
Mr. Leland.
Mr. Leland.
Mr.
Baby,
say my name.
Say my name.
Say my name.
No one is around to say, baby, I love you.
If you ain't running game, say my name. Say my name.
This is for 400 years of slavery. Say my name.
You know.
You know what? That's a different topic too.
Then that means I know who's in front of you.
You got that right. Knowing.
You will go over the balcony and not say it.
I tell you, you know, look. What's your name, Sarah?
What up, Tanya?
What's your name, Toby?
So last week, Leland came on and he wanted to introduce the topic of alpha male and alpha female. And I know we started getting into it, but I'm telling you, that would have been a whole nother 3-hour show. But we brought Leland back here because we wanted to get not only a definition, but an insight to what we feel the alpha male and compare. Would you want to make a comparison to the alpha male or alpha female, or talk about how they are a lot similar?
Man, I mean, there's so many dynamics.
It's a dimensional thing.
This is a every week show for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
because you have to define for an alpha male particularly, how would the alpha male pick a female that's going to be in his life? What does this woman have that the other women don't have, and why is it that most women that aren't with a alpha male, it's like slim pickings for them? Like they most women will never meet an alpha male or be with one.
And then you got to also identify the distinction between the false alpha female
and men.
And men. Yes.
Hold on, though. The question is the definition, because how we're defining it, or you're defining it, and the world is defining it. If we don't collide the definitions and be clear on what they mean by how they define an alpha male, we could have two different conversations.
Leland, what is your definition?
They're never going to add up.
What is your current definition of an alpha male, Leland?
My current definition of an alpha male is the leader of the household, period. Like,
okay.
When I say leader, I don't mean leader in the sense of strong arming a woman, dictatorship. Alpha men, to me, I'm speaking for myself, I love women. But I can only love a certain type of woman, like the kind of woman that the first attribute I think I would look for if I was looking at women would have to be that she had a sweetness about her. Because most women that have that sweetness about them are very feminine women.
Ain't nothing like pouring honey on a hoe.
I'm trying to tell you. So, you need sweetness for completeness. You gotta have that. I think it's gotta start there because you're gonna be putting a lot of things in with a woman that is in her divine feminine energy.
Okay. There is an order to the animal kingdom. There's an order to everything underneath the stars and in the universe.
I agree.
And in that conversation lives, you have, and I'll use a toolbox, you have screwdrivers attempting to be a hammer. And a screwdriver cannot be a hammer.
You said pour honey on a hoe.
I sure did. I said ain't nothing like pouring honey on a hoe.
I can't even get that out of my head right now.
I told you
it's like a song title.
I told you shit come up to my brain like it just come out.
Where do you come up with this shit?
I don't know where it come from, but pouring honey on a hoe. It just
popped in your head. See that? You said pour honey on a hoe.
Honey on a hoe.
Want some more? You better pour some honey
on a hoe.
If you really want some more, you better pour some honey on a hoe.
The hoe ain't even in the conversation for divine feminine energy. She ain't even there.
She's not even there.
She ain't even there. The hoe ain't even part of this conversation.
She's laying down.
Yeah, she's somewhere,
She's somewhere taking a bath.
Being used up.
Yeah.
She's somewhere taking a bath. That's what hoes do. Hoe bath? Bath.
So then what is your definition of an alpha female?
Yeah.
An alpha mean. Go ahead, Leland.
I don't really know a lot of alpha females. I don't deal with a lot of alpha females. I like the divine feminine females that I deal with. I don't.
Is it because that is a direct competition of who you are as an alpha male,
or it's a direct competition with me?
Okay.
We can't have two alphas in the house, so I'm not going to align myself with an alpha female. And another thing is, a lot of times, and I've had this in my life. I can say this. I don't even give a shit. I can say this shit. There was a time in my life when I was not alpha. And those women that I dealt with at that time, I will never deal with even as an alpha male, because they will never recognize me as an alpha male if I've ever been beta with them before.
Mm-hmm. So then you can turn a beta male into...
They will never recognize me as alpha male if I've been beta with them before.
So can you turn a beta male to an alpha?
Can you turn a beta male to an alpha?
Yeah. Because
absolutely.
I said
it's just it's education for him.
Yeah.
To become the alpha male. This is what this conversation is about. It's how to give him the tools to develop himself into an alpha male.
Just to a man.
Oh, to a male, period, yes. But alpha is that next level. That's that lone level. Because you're not going to... Alpha men don't deal with a lot of women, bro. We know a lot of women, but we don't deal with a lot of women. We ain't hoes.
I'm sorry, what?
We're not hoes. We don't just go...
I disagree with that.
Oh, no.
I disagree with that. I think alpha men may grow into not being hoes.
Well, then if they grew into it, then they stopped. That's what I'm saying. An alpha male... I'm speaking in present terms.
You're saying the same thing.
Men do not deal with a lot of women. We don't sleep with a lot of women.
Let me put my 2 cents in on that. I don't think that it's a growth that happens to become an alpha male. I think it is a wisdom that happens to become a man.
That's growth. That's growth.
It's growth, but I don't think that involves the title of being an alpha male. I just think that involves growth and wisdom, because a lot of alpha males that I know, and I'm speaking only from my vernacular, is they all been hoes, and they've gotten tired of that life, and now the wisdom sets in, and then they're like, now I can teach the next because I am now considered an alpha.
I disagree.
Okay.
I gotta disagree with you only because if I go to school,
get on somebody else's fucking show and disagree. That's my goddamn thing.
Listen.
You gonna say yes to me,
if I go to school to become a doctor,
okay,
I'm learning to become a doctor. Am I not?
Yes.
And then I'm gonna be a doctor. So if you're in alignment as a man to become alpha male, you're becoming alpha male. You're an alpha male.
The problem with that is you could be a doctor, a dermatologist, you could be a surgeon, you could be a podiatrist, you could be a psychologist. There's many different levels of doctors, and I believe there's many different descriptions of the alpha male, as well as many different descriptions of the alpha female.
That's true. That's true too. But he's still on his way to become an alpha, whatever degree he's becoming an alpha in.
But the definition does determine how people interact, because the alpha female description isn't a description I gave to myself. It's a description that has been given to me in certain environments via business. It's never been a description that has been given to me in my relationship.
But how do you apply your alpha femaleness to a relationship?
I don't.
Good.
I don't want to be an alpha in a relationship.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Right. That's you just answering.
If I can run you, I will run you
100%.
Exactly.
And you're not my man. You're my fuck boy.
There you
go. Exactly.
So nobody wants to be in a relationship with a man they can run. If I can run you, I'm stealing from you. I'm robbing you. I'm doing everything that I can. I got other bitches that's doing it to you too. You're not my man. You're my fuck boy. But at home with the man that I'm with,
all the simps, they all get played. All the simps have been played.
However, you got to understand, when somebody says, I don't want to, when you meet me at work, you will know who I am. You will refer to me as the alpha female until you see me at home. So my thing is, I am alpha at work. When it comes to my money, you are in the way. Even now, I will say this though, even if I'm in a relationship with anybody, if I feel, no matter who you are, friend, man, if I feel like you interrupt my work in any kind of way, or get in the way of how I make money, I will dissolve it. Because that's how I put food on my table, because I respect the way the jungle works. You do not interrupt the lion female when she's hunting for her family. Right. Period. You might get bit.
Get your ass ate up.
You'll get your ass ate up.
So then who is alpha female and alpha male a self-defining definition?
It shouldn't be.
Or no, does it self-define?
That goes into a conversation of saying, if I got to tell you I'm a woman, I'm probably not. If I got to tell you I'm a woman, if I got to tell you, and you see so many women up there putting on their posts, I'm an alpha female. I'm an alpha this. I'm an alpha that. If you got to tell me what the fuck you are, you're not. You're just walking around as an insecure motherfucker trying to find your identity, hoping you can validate yourself through popular population.
I agree with that.
I don't need to tell you who the fuck I am. If you don't know who the fuck I am, you probably need to stay the fuck away from me.
You will never hear me. I don't describe myself that way. Other people do. Like when people say I can't stand to hear a woman say I'm a bad bitch. No, you're not. Because if you
I can't stand that either. I can't stand it anyway. I'm a boss bitch.
You're not a boss bitch. If you a boss bitch, you telling yourself, excuse me, that's an affirmation.
Gene, so when you're in a relationship, you're dedicated to a life of enhancing that man's growth.
Absolutely. You will be better if you're with me.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Cheers, Byron. Cheers, Gene.
If I don't have a woman that's dedicated to my life and enhancing my growth, I don't want to. I'm not. She's not in my life.
And the way I define that, you can contact any one of my exes, and they will say that.
But the key is you got to have somebody who wants to fucking be better. Some motherfuckers are just like we just talked about as far as, the mental problems. Most motherfuckers are so stuck in a warped position of life that they don't even own up to the fact that they have not grown from who they were today from 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're a worse version of who they were because it worked for them 3 years ago. They're still trying to apply themselves today. The evolution of time, you're either going backwards or going forwards. It's a very simple conversation.
I think if people need to understand the position of a woman, anything you give a woman, she will make grow. If you give her shit, she will grow shit. If you give her love, she will grow love. If you give her happiness, she'll grow happiness. If you give her a house, she'll turn it into a home. So a woman has to be careful who she tries to make better, because if you are a submissive being, you will grow the bullshit that you attract.
I love that analogy. I'm loving that.
Totally love it.
If you're a strong woman though, and you see a man who may have some discrepancies, your job isn't to point those discrepancies out. Your job is to help him be better behind closed doors and to never challenge him in public.
Woo! And into that conversation, and when we're talking about wisdom, I can say for a greater majority of my relationships, I attracted what you call the alpha female.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had nothing to do with the female. It had to do with my life. It had to do with, I love testing waters. I love duels. I love being pushed to the edge. I love not the competition, but the conflict, if you will, of just the friction and the strength.
Ain't nothing wrong with friction.
No. Well, diamond. But as I've evolved, there's a major distinction between what you call an alpha female and a strong female.
Major.
I don't want a fucking alpha female. I don't even like them as my friends anymore.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm being very serious. Fuck you.
Yeah, but you'll be calling me quickly with that tool, won't you?
Excuse me, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown would never use that language.
Fuck Charlie Brown too.
He's a lie. He's a lie. Because you won't even date an alpha female. I've never met a female that's you've ever dated, except
you haven't known all the women I've dated. The ones you've known have been
except for one.
And guess what? And that one almost turned into marriage. Until we were about
everybody after that has been 100% whatever you like.
Till we're about to kill each other.
So let me ask Leland this. What are
really?
Characteristics, because we don't want to walk around telling people we're alpha. Leland, what are some of the characteristics of an alpha male?
Man. Characteristics.
I can tell you what each one of them seek while he's thinking about that.
Okay, sure.
An alpha female is seeking validation. And when I say validation, I don't mean it in a submissive way. Because if you put women in a park, you're always going to have one in which everybody is following. She's going to control the crowd. She's going to have people following. And you're going to have one over here who doesn't like her. And she's going to attract that crowd as well. You can actually see alpha males in one pack. You can actually put 5, 6, 7 alpha males in one room. And they will actually merge because of the fact that they actually honor and respect. Just like you have LeBron, you have AD, you got a bunch of alpha males playing on the Lakers right now, which make them better because they understand the pecking order and paying homage versus a competition. Men seek respect. If I walk into a room, the alpha male is seeking respect. You don't have to like me, but you goddamn sure gonna respect who the fuck I am.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem paying homage to Leland as my big brother because of the wisdom and because I know what he's done before me. And there's very few people that, and you know that, CJ, it's very few people that I will give homage to and bow down because there's an equally yoked respect.
That I agree with.
I agree with that because I've noticed being in a room with a bunch of alphas, like on Dancing with the Stars, every musician that's on that show, we're all alphas. Like our musical director doesn't work with anything less. But just when we're like when we've all been out together, Byron, and things like that, and I've seen us be with other alpha men, because a lot of Byron's male friends, they just who they are. It's not a bow down or it's not a diminishing our light. It's literally, like you said, it's a mutual respect. Because I know sometimes we've gone to the Sofitel, they've set up a table for me, and I'll ask Byron, "Do you mind if I?" And he's like, "It's your table. What you doing?" But what it is that it's not, diminishing my light. It's seeing my brother for who he is and making sure my brother is comfortable as well. Just giving them mutual respect. Exactly. So that's why I was asking Leland, what are some of those characteristics that when a woman approaches a male or anybody approach that man, they'll know what time it is?
Again, it's like when you know who you are as a man, an alpha male to me is defined in this way. A man that has his shit together. One, he's on his purpose. He's got.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
He has his home. He doesn't need a woman for anything. Like I don't one of the things I never get a woman for is for cooking, cleaning, none of the bullshit that you get a woman for. I don't need her for that. I could do that shit on my own. So as an alpha male, I think that if you're truly in your alpha stance, you have to be a man of purpose that has his shit together.
Right.
Because you're not even getting respected from a woman without it. That's number one. No woman's gonna respect any man that ain't doing shit for himself. And I mean, when I say got your shit together, I don't mean just the house, just the car, just your job, just your position, just your career, your physical health. The same thing. And I don't even deal with women who don't look at themselves and take care of themselves physically.
Yeah.
Never. If I look at a woman and she's smoking and she's drinking or she's out of shape, I've already lost interest in her. Instantly. I don't even have to have a word with her. I can't align myself with that energy because I'm not that. That's not what I'm coming with. Alpha male energy is we are already together. We got everything already. She's going to learn from me.
That's your personal definition, right? Because there are some
absolutely. It's not across the board. There's many forms from different men. I hear alpha men things on YouTube I totally disagree with.
But I think what you said was important is the alignment. I don't think just to get rid of certain stereotypes. I think the alpha male has his shit together, right? He doesn't need anybody for anything. However, it's always good to know that you have someone who can carry what you can carry. That's it. Sometimes just knowing that is enough. Doesn't mean that I want you to carry my load. I just need to know that you can.
Yeah, or if something happens to me to be able to hold down what the hell I built. You can't let it fall apart.
So is that the same as a type A male?
I don't know what a type A male is. What is that?
Okay. So then I will put a pin in that one. I'll explain.
Let's hear what the type A is about.
Type A is a general thing, yeah.
Put a pin in it. I'll come back to it. I want to ask Byron, what is your definition of an alpha male?
He controls his domain.
Mm-hmm.
He controls his domain.
I need a shoe.
He creates. Yes. He is the frequency. He is the thermometer. He sets the tone. He sets the weather, the temperature. He protects everything that's in it. I protect everybody that's in my world. There's nobody protecting me except for God and the people that I allow to serve me that I serve back in the law of reciprocity. But underneath my reign, I'm leading the entire crusade, and I have the final word on everything. And anyone that thinks second has to go.
Yeah,
I am open when you have a strong woman, which I call Jamila, and many other people in my camp, Erica. There's several people that are strong. That I am open to opinion because without counsel, you're stupid. So I'm totally open to strong conversations. And powerful women with conversations. But at the end of the day, I gather that information and the law is mine. So
and I have to make a quick correction. When I said all of us on Dance with the Stars are alphas, we're actually type A's. So the reason why I asked that is because type A's are overachievers, perfectionists, and they're workaholics.
And he married?
They are not excuse me?
Any of them married? Any of them people married?
Yeah. And they're and not necessarily they're high achievers. Like every type A want to be better than the best.
Perfectionists.
And they achieve and 9 times out of 10 they achieve it. Yeah. And they work until they work. Yeah. So those are the kind of personalities I often hang around. Alpha males, I would consider myself an alpha by definition of what has been stated thus far, but I consider myself mostly a type A.
And there's a difference, yes.
Yeah, and because of the difference. I'm not trying to prove my domain or trying to prove my stance to anybody because my very existence says it.
And in that, CJ, if I can add to that, in that list, I am an alpha male, but I am a type B. Now, listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm an alpha male. I'm a creative force.
Yeah.
I am not anal retentive. I am not about the details. But in controlling my domain, I employ everyone that is type A to keep my shit
Understood.
straight.
I'm glad we're talking about this. That's why I love you, man. I'm glad we're talking about this because what I've noticed that with type A men, a lot of them, and I've had this conversation, they don't consider themselves alpha, but they consider themselves type A, and that's it.
Right.
Because you brought Leland, because you brought this open as far as like that's why I wanted to understand what the definition of an alpha male is, because it has been glossed over with me, the millennial, but I've just often wondered how does that relate to a type A? And so now I see that there is a bit of a difference because Byron, you just broke that down to me.
Right.
Damn, Wendy, you just made my eyes cross when you put Gene up there.
Yeah, that threw me off too.
Yeah.
So you fly down to the bottom.
Yeah, I was like, wait a damn minute. Here's the story. I'm glad that you said that, Byron, because a lot of men out there are listening to our show tonight, and they're like, yeah, you know what? I am an alpha. I also want you to look into the characteristics of a type A as well, because Byron just broke it down to you. He's an alpha, but he's a type B. And I've never heard anybody say that before. But you know what? As you said it, and as I've known you as my brother, it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense. Yeah.
The word alpha to me, if I had to sum it up in a word, is certainty, because the definition can be very different. However, an alpha male and female is certain about who he or she is, period. Mm-hmm. And whoever they attract has to be able to deal with that because that person isn't going to bend that for them.
Yeah.
And in an alpha world, though, you will compromise certain things if you feel like that other person can handle it. They have it. That's their role if you trust them enough to maintain it.
That's what I was going to ask, Gene. Is there positive aspects about being an alpha?
Oh, many.
In business, for me, yes. I will. I will claim that in business. All right, because I don't care about my relationship. But in relationships, I haven't met a female that I believe is really alpha or has been given that title that wants to be that in her relationship.
Okay.
No. If there's ever
no woman wants that. No woman
that you meet that wants to run her man, that bitch ain't alpha. She's a control freak. Something's wrong with her.
Right. And she's gonna be lonely.
She's gonna be
very
lonely.
I was about to go right there.
She's gonna be lonely because
she's gonna be lonely. I can tell you that right now.
That's right.
As a young woman, my definition of alpha was very different. I thought that meant to be controlled.
No.
And I thought that meant to be controlled. I also
but for some it does, because I've heard, like, remember I told you earlier, I've heard some alpha things on YouTube where
that's not true.
And I'm not in agreement with certain aspects of it. You know, certain alphas, they think that.
I also thought submissiveness in my early 20s and teens, I thought submissiveness was a weakness.
That's a natural state for a woman. That's a natural state.
It's not only is it natural, it's probably one of the most powerful motherfucking positions you can ever be in.
Yeah. Take this dick submissively.
No. There's a dumb bitch and there's submissive. And those are two different very motherfuckers.
Slide it in submissively.
Okay.
But that's not just for females as well. Submissive goes to men as well, which, as she just said, it magnifies being very powerful to know how to submit.
Submit. Let me give you an example where a man in that situation, if I'm in a relationship with you,
thank you,
and
Ruben,
you do something that's completely out of pocket in public, and it is wrong, I'm gonna back you in a way where the world won't know that I think it's wrong.
It's what Byron said last week. It's what he said.
When we get in the car or when we get home, you're gonna value my opinion enough because you know I won't demasculate you in front of people. You're gonna ask me what I thought of that, and I'm gonna tell you that was wrong.
But I want to hear the opinion when I ask for it.
Right,
and that's true.
Right.
So you don't believe in just one expression of opinion.
But the alpha man will ask for it if you have that kind of relationship with him. He'll ask you immediately. You won't have to wait for him to ask you for it. Because if he knows his woman. He knows you didn't like it. He knows it was a problem based on how you responded, but the world didn't know.
Exactly.
What do all of you all feel? I'm gonna ask this question. What do all of you all feel about women who clearly just state, I'm going to be submissive to my husband and I am going to do what he wants me to do. He's going to be the head of this house. And that is the way it's going to be. I am going to give up myself for that husband. Because there are some women out there that truly feel that, and I don't know if that's wrong.
I believe demographically it depends on
your culture.
Demographically, ethnically. where they're from. Because if you're dealing with an Asian woman,
that's normal.
It's that's the way it's for
the reason why
that's the culture. That's the culture.
Hold on.
Yeah,
that's going into culture. But the reason why I asked this question is because, you know, Minister Rance Allen, you know, the singer, he died recently, and they were all Kojic, I believe, either Kojic or Pentecostal, and his wife got up there, black woman, you know, and got up there and she said, I want to let y'all know that when my husband came home from preaching, or when he came home off the road, his house was clean, his dinner was made, and I let him tell me what needed to be done around the house. I made sure that my husband was taken care of. I was submissive, as the Bible say, to my husband. Now, that was a black woman speaking.
Can I speak on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
When Robin would go on tour and he would come back after being gone for 2 weeks, I made sure his house was clean. I made sure his laundry was done. I made sure his favorite meal was done. Not because I felt like I was supposed to, because he was punking me, but because I felt like that he was gone. He was away from home. He was working. He was doing what he was supposed to do. And I wanted him to come home to a calm place. I'm still a boss. I still had, that was because I felt that's served as the man who was gone, and I wanted him to come home to a home that was different from outside of the world.
He's doing everything he's supposed to do. That's the key.
That's good.
This man is doing everything he's supposed to do as a man. She needs nothing.
That's
nothing.
Good. Okay.
So people misunderstood what she said. Because I think
a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
What young woman would hear is, I'm supposed to submit to any motherfucking body. No. He ain't doing shit. No. He ain't got nothing. He's not. No, you're not.
But you know what? What's good about this topic, Gene, is that a lot of unmarried women who are in these deep relationships with men want to act like they're married and submit to these boyfriends and get caught up in the matrix.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
I am not married. He is my boyfriend.
This wasn't addressed to you.
I know that, but people will. But I get this opinion all the time. First of all, I choose not to be married because I was married already, and I believe the secular version of marriage is stupid.
Bullshit. Yep.
It's bullshit. It's a lot of motherfuckers that are married that don't stay married, and I feel bad for him when people approach him and say, "Why aren't you married yet?" Because niggas, we don't want to be. Good.
I'll finish what I was saying. What I was going to end with was, a lot of women want to play that role of being married and being submissive and mad at the fact that their boyfriend is still doing what the fuck he wants to do, and then they're confused about it.
That's because there's a lack of conversation and communication and comprehension.
Yeah.
Communication is
never. Because
I've
ran into that with plenty of women before. And I'm
marriage for women is like niggas getting the bag. That's like when the motherfuckers say, I got the bag. Marriage, that's how women look at marriage. That's like.
Marriage is, Fatinay hit it right. Marriage is paperwork.
Yeah.
In this world.
It's all bullshit.
And I think, paperwork. You know, there are women out there who love to just do this.
I don't. Why? Why? I haven't met one person, not one person that is married that has a life I want to duplicate. Not one.
Yeah. Okay.
Not one.
Yeah.
I have, but
what say you, Byron? Because you've been quiet. What say you?
No, I mean, everybody has a different experience, just like there's different alphas. And like Leland was saying, what his standard was, I have my own standard. I think that's what makes you an individual. That's why God created us all differently. But there's certain traits that are consistent and certain things that are distinctly different. When it comes to marriage, I was blessed. You know, I had an amazing example of marriage in my mother and father. And and law of attraction means they knew other people that had around them amazing relationships and marriages, which I had, you know, a surrogate 3 fathers.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I have, you know, the reason why I have not gotten married is because I don't believe in divorce, meaning, you know, it's like, I still have that old value that if I'm going to get married, then I want a soulmate of somebody who I can die with.
You know, I've never wanted to be married. My cousin and I just had this conversation. And she asked me, she was like, oh, Chris, you're going to be a great father whenever that comes down to it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I don't want to be married. She's like, what? She said, I thought you would be a family man. I said, I love family. I love the idea of it. But me personally, I've never wanted to be married. I want to have kids. And I don't want to have, you know, crazy relationships with the baby mama because I don't plan on having baby mamas. But you know, I've never wanted to be married. I've become accustomed and love the idea of being by myself, coming and going when I want to. And I'm not saying that a marriage, like Fatine said, will be the paperwork or will be the jail cell. But I've always just felt like I'm a musician. I'm a creative. I like the idea of being free. We can be free together, but just be my girlfriend. I just never wanted to be married.
And I get a lot of conversation about this, and I want to be clear because I know Latanya she posted up, I'm in a happily I believe that there are people that are happily married because that's what they sought to get, right? That's what they attracted, and that's fine. It's based on their definition. But the definition of marriage to me, based on today's world, doesn't mean I don't want to be married in my own way. It just means that how I see it from a secular way isn't attractive to me at all. And there are a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that claim to be happily married, and their definition of happily married is I sucked up and put up with a lot of the bullshit that most people won't. That's just me.
You know, Patricia, like I say her name, she said that last week.
And that's okay. But I've been in my relationship for 12 years. I'm okay with that.
And you can only talk from your perspective.
I can only talk from my perspective.
You can only talk from your perspective.
Prior to him was 17 years. So my mother calls that Shaq. It is Shaq. She calls it.
It's called a Shaq. That's so old. I heard that.
But Dwayne, every woman that I've met that caused it shacking up with a man they should have left a long motherfucking time ago.
How about this? What advice would we give men who aren't alpha, that are just straight beta, getting pimped and used and abused and ain't doing shit? What advice? What about you first, Byron? What advice do we give these men, man?
The new host of Bring It to the Table.
That's a good question.
Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can't give advice because I've never been that. I can't give advice to which I've never been. I've never been a beta, or by definition of what I think a beta is. I can't give advice to what I've never been. I've seen.
No, we're not giving advice to. We giving. No, give your advice to a man that you feel like we could use your tutelage of becoming a better man, a better, as you put it, your a man.
Well, you know, type A.
Type A, man.
What I can say is that, well, when you're talking about and give a definitive answer for a type A personality, you're actually born with that. It's not something that can be acquired. You're either born a type A or you're born a type B. That's actually a scientific proven thing. How you come into this world, how you interact as a child, who you are by definition. That's what a type A is. Being a beta man and being an alpha man. Because I've never thought of myself as an alpha man, but because those characteristics have been outed on the show, I do have those type of characteristics. What I can say to someone who is not of an alpha, if that is considered a beta, I would ask that you control your environment of who you are with. Because, but you know what? No, let me take that back. And I'll say why I take that back. You are who you are. I don't think that I don't think some people need to achieve the height of being an alpha man. I think that if you are operating as a beta and you are absolutely great at who you are operating or what you're operating as, I say go for it. I don't believe that everyone needs to operate at a certain level to have a certain command over their environment. I believe that you can do that without having yourself labeled as an alpha or a beta man. Because
you'll get used, though. You're going to be used.
No. I think that is from the perspective of what most people who are defined as an alpha can see. Because as that beta man, I don't weak men. I don't see weak men. I don't.
I do.
You know,
yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
I don't see them or define them as a beta man. I see them in how they are. I'm a Cancer. I'm an empath. I see your spirit first before I see your characteristics. So I can see spirits all day long. But when you're character of who you are, I'm accepting of it because that's how you're operating on this earth. I don't look at that as a down. I don't look at that as a down frequency or something that's bad or something they should try to elevate to be an alpha because that's who they are. I don't see that.
I can appreciate walruses.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate giraffes. It's probably the last thing I'm going to go look at the zoo.
Not the neck.
I do agree with you that you're either boring type A or type B, but that is complete distinct from being an alpha. I believe in an alpha male, and this is my again, this is subjective. I believe that, as you know, Leland said, I'm only attracted to men that are either alpha or aspiring to be, because my defining of an alpha is just being a real man.
Okay.
I do not like weak men. I don't even say I have a low tolerance. I have no tolerance.
I just had to laugh at that, because whenever you talk about something definitive over your or for your life, you get this stance, and I love it, because
I don't deal with bitch. I just don't. I'm not.
You bitch ass nigga. I don't deal
with you. And again, there's a place for them. I'm sure. Just like
I was getting ready to say that.
There's a place for them.
There's a place for you.
There's a place for walruses. There's a place. I'm still trying to figure out why God created wasps. I know He created bees. So I have no use for wasps. I have no use for walruses. I have no use for bitch-minded men. None.
Yeah, I agree.
Like zero tolerance.
And women don't like these men. They're making it bad for real men out there, because these men are the ones that are just licking and kissing the ass of all these women who have been objectified, and they're just fucking the whole
system up
out there. They're just fucking the whole shit up. I'm sorry. These motherfuckers, for me personally, this is what I feel. If a man is going to be a man, alpha, beta, I don't give a fuck. If he's going to be a man and he's out there trying to have a relationship with a woman, and he wants a great relationship with a woman, I still say to this man, before he even engages with women, go get your shit together. Meaning, if you want to work a 9 to 5, work your 9 to 5. If you want to start a business, get your business shit together, but get your life together in that sense. Have your car, have your teeth fixed, be physically healthy, have your own place, have all that shit together before you meet any woman. That's just being a man. Most men ain't got that.
You're right.
Most men, when they meet women, are coming with nothing. They're looking for the woman to take care of them.
You know what? I really think it's cultural. I don't, because
that shit all over LA.
I do not think you know, white folks.
That's very common for a Los Angeles.
I done had so many men calling me crying about goddamn women, dude. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. They always calling me about.
I don't think white men are sitting around talking about that I'm an alpha or I'm king or I just don't think that, you know.
They're trying to figure out how to kill us.
Right. But saying alpha, that's not the main part of the thing, though, CJ. Let's get out of the alpha and type A and type B. Let's just stay with just being a man. Period. Just being a man.
Now you're changing the narrative. Your point of coming on this show was to talk about alpha and who wasn't.
Well,
alpha.
You want to destroy it, telling me
because
I'm telling you what an alpha man is. An alpha man got his shit together.
Because
an alpha man got his job. He's got a business. He's got his home. He's ready.
Okay, great. I am the millennial of this group. And when you pose a question about things that are of what my elders have gotten to, I am going to oppose it because I'm looking at it through different lenses. You know, a lot of these millennials out here, we got our shit together, but we're not claiming a stance, and we're not saying, oh, this is who we are and this is blah, blah, blah. We're just saying, oh, okay, cool. It's great. There are a lot of things from my generation that we don't live in the expectation of what y'all generation does. We don't operate in that existence either. So sometimes I hear, hold on. Sometimes I hear those things because I am that different dude. Sometimes I hear those things and I'm like, oh, okay, I see how I can apply that. But what I'm telling you that for our other folks who are millennials on this thing, that's not how we're operating. We're more tolerant and to live in an existence of no labels. So regardless of how you look at it or who people are going to be, that is where I come from because that's the generation I live in. Even though I do have the eyes of my elders, that is my vernacular at times.
Let me help you with that, CJ.
Yeah.
All that means is the characteristics still exist. The labels have gone away. It doesn't change, though, how it will be identified. You can still look at someone's characteristics without the label and eventually say that's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
All day.
All day.
Okay.
It's not going to change the narrative of male-female relationship.
Understood.
You understand? Because you have come across people where you be like, after you've broken, because you start out with no labels, therefore you have to go through a process of elimination.
True.
The difference is we start out with the label and we find out where you end.
Yeah.
I
understand that.
For the spectrum.
I understand that. Here's what Leland, the reason why I was combative with you in this situation is because
not
when
combative,
you speak,
not combative.
No,
not combative.
I'm going to say combative because that's where I was coming from, because you're hitting certain parts of my youth that we fight against. And what I'm saying to you is, again, we don't have to say combative because that's my brother.
Right? We're not being combative.
I get what you're saying.
No.
I get what you're saying.
Yes.
In this conversation, though, I want it to be clear because I understand what we are talking about. Again, Gene, I understand the labels and everything. But when you're speaking to the millennials and people that are under me, it's hard for them to grasp because they're looking at you like, I don't want to listen to this dude. This dude talking about that old school shit. And I don't want that to be the thing. Yeah, I'm the different dude. I'm the one that's going to be like, I hear what you're saying because of how I was raised. But I'm saying since we're speaking to the general audience a lot of times, I don't want that to be lost in what you're giving the definition of an alpha and things are.
Can I give you an example of that?
Yeah,
There's
go
a
ahead.
word that I love called courtesan. If you don't know what a courtesan is, in the 14th and 15th century.
It is. It's that cream I rubbed on my ass before.
No, that's cortisone. A courtesan in
I knew y'all were going to say that.
century was considered a prostitute. Okay, but here's what defined her as a prostitute. She could read, she could write. She was allowed in libraries. She was allowed to be around men of power, but she was not allowed to marry them. In today's world, a courtesan is the working modern female. She's not a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I understand why you don't like the title, but it shifts with time. It's just a new title that's going to be attached.
Yeah.
However, a hoe is somebody who takes money for sex. Right? Is that what we would say?
Yeah, but look at Amber Rose. She's normal.
All of us have taken something. You ain't going out with nobody for nothing. Right? But then that would be a touchy conversation that motherfuckers don't really want to have.
Yeah.
But what I will say is it depends on the times. Because if I had to go back to the 14th and 15th century, I would have chosen all day to be a courtesan versus a respected woman. Because the respected woman wasn't allowed to read. She wasn't allowed to write. She wasn't allowed to communicate with her husband. All she could do was sew and make babies, and that made her a woman of class.
Damn, babies and sewing?
Out of here. Right. So I understand your ability to want to separate from titles, but the characteristics will never change.
But it doesn't change nothing.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know.
And that's why I'm glad we're talking about this, because again, there are millennials that are watching our show like, I don't fall for that. But now do you guys understand that we're breaking it down?
So CJ, what advice would you give a son about dating?
I would tell him, respect yourself first and allow what I have taught you to guide you to who you date.
And you would tell him to pick a woman how?
I would tell him to pick a woman that he would respect as he respects his mother.
You know how old school that is?
Mm-hmm. No. I told you guys. Wait. Stop.
That's not millennial.
Hold on. I told y'all I'm that different dude. I told y'all
that's not different. That's not different, CJ.
Yeah. But
that's not different. That's old.
I said that.
That's old school. That's older than the shit I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll tell you what I tell my son. Don't bring home a fucking bum. Period.
You know what? I don't have any children. I don't have any children. I don't have any children. But what I'm saying is that I have values that have guided me, that have propelled me, that I have spiritual values. I have conscious values that have allowed me to live a life that I am happy of and proud of. And so I would encourage my son to do the same, and that whoever he chooses as his mate make sure that those guidelines that I've instilled in him, also with his own identity and what he believes spiritually, allow him to pick and choose who his mate is going to be. That's what I would instill in my child. And whatever his choice is, I have to know that I poured enough into him to know that whoever he chooses, I would be okay with it, because this is who I raised and who I poured into. So that would be.
Do you know that most men today are more feminine than the women that are being raised?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you think? Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that is?
I own mine because my motto, and I'm sitting here eating. Excuse me, y'all. My motto was a very strong alpha female, and then she taught me how to take care of myself as a woman would, but she instilled those things in me. I've always enjoyed having the side of the feminine masculine that I can combine together that makes CJ. I've always enjoyed and never shied away. I've been called gay, I've been called this, and I don't give a shit, because it is who define it. It is what my makeup is. And when I look at other men who have or show feminine qualities, it makes me happy, because we are born of a woman. There are things and traits that are in us that we cannot deny. I think if you try to deny that, you're going against the very nature that created.
Let me just jump in right there, CJ. Let me be very clear. There's a distinction from having feminine characteristics and being a bitch ass motherfucker.
Because all men have it. All men have a feminine.
I've been called a metro man and everything. In fact, I had a miss freaking Mexico butt naked when I was in my early 20s, and she got completely naked and undressed, and then asked me to kiss her and said, I've never kissed a gay man before. And I'm sitting up there, and then she asked me if she asked me, can we fuck? And then as we fucked, she said, I've never fucked a gay man before.
That's hilarious.
And when we finished, I said, and neither have I.
So, Leland, let me ask you, what were you asking me? Because it seems like I went in another direction, but what were you asking me?
Initially,
yeah,
because we have this thing right now, this demasculation of men, and I mean, it's just
they're calling it redefined masculinity. Yeah.
I don't know. You can call it what the hell they want to call it.
Right.
That's what the running theme is. It's coming from all the.
You always want to change the damn titles and shit. I'm just saying, I've seen a whole lot of young bitch ass young men growing up in the world that are just more women and feminine than the actual women right now. And it's happening on the women's side too. The women are becoming more masculine.
More masculine.
And here's Leland actually said that. He asked the question, said, how is that happening? And it's really because single parents are no longer dysfunctional. It's actually the norm. Yeah. It's normal to be raised in a single parent home
by design.
By design. Yeah, that's a whole nother class.
I don't see it like that, y'all. I think it's not just happening. It's been here.
No. It's a slow process, CJ. You got to understand something.
No, it's a slow process.
No, listen.
Back to what it was before. It's
you are listening. Listen, CJ. Listen.
Under the sun. Go ahead.
It's Lynn.
I got a white beard, right? Now, if I woke up one morning, let's just say it was black at one time. Of course, we know my hair was black at one time. But if it turned white overnight, I would be scared to death. I would think something's wrong. I would think something happened to me. I would go to the hospital and go see somebody. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, over a long period of time, slowly. I hardly ever even noticed. And then one day, oh shit, my shit's all white. It's the same thing. When we talk about this,
CJ, you gotta know your history. Gotta know your history.
Yeah, hold on. I was actually finna explain history when everybody cut me off.
Oh, go ahead and explain history then. Come on.
Because when you guys were talking about all of a sudden women are becoming more masculine and men are becoming more feminine, this has already been designed. This was designed back in the 1400s. The industrialization period back in the 1800s is when men stopped wearing those garbs of what women were wearing. And that's when it was decided that it was like, okay, masculine men need to wear pants and they used to dress in this way. Back in the times of the Trojans, the men had male concubines actually that were being gay and having a male partner was actually hold up. I am though, because I'm getting to a point. They had those things were already natural. They were natural for a man to have his own male servant. Hell, even the Bible talked about Jesus blessed the man with one. So what I'm saying is that when you're talking about the evolution of how people are, these things have already been done. I'm not surprised at those things that are, or people are saying they're new under the sun. I'm not surprised because history has proven that those things have already been here. Joan of Arc dressed as a man to fight into the war. And when she said she was blessed by God to go and fight, these things have already been done.
Okay,
what I see now is people want to bring more attention to those things that are already there because they're bored. That is what I see.
Okay, so hold on.
That is what I see. That's what I see.
The question was brought up about
bored. And I think they want a subject to talk about, and they want to talk about how things are changing. It's already been here. You're
talking about gay and lesbians. I'm not talking about.
I'm not. No, I'm not. That's what you heard. No. That's what you heard. I'm not talking about gay or lesbian. I started the conversation back in the 1800s during the industrialization period when the men stopped dressing in dresses.
That's not what I'm talking about. But what you're talking about is when he said was single family households.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
that's what he said.
Hold on. That was a subject that was brought up, but that was not the basis of what we were talking about. He started talking about the differences in families and things that are changing because he made the comment of people saying, "Oh, more women are becoming masculine and more men are becoming feminine." And I'm saying that is not to me the truth because it's already been here. And when you asked me about knowing my history, I was giving you valid points, whether it was sexuality or when the industrialization period happened in 1823. Those are valid points.
When I said know your history, it wasn't about that. When I said know your history, it was about
because I'm a scholar in history. We can go back.
That's not what I'm talking
about. Let her talk.
So what I'm saying is when he said about know your history, when he said it's by design that children are being raised in single family households. And then he used the characteristics of more men and women being more masculine and feminine. What I'm saying when I said know your history is in the 14th, 15th century, all the way up until the 60s, it was not normal to be in a single family household. At all. That's what I was talking.
That's happened over the last 60 years.
That's just documented.
That is not
60 years.
On this next episode,
I'm not finished. You got it out. Let me fucking finish.
Go ahead. Because on the next episode, I'm going to show y'all historically where it was. Go ahead.
And I'm going to come with some history for you.
Historically, it was not correct to be a woman who wasn't married. You were considered, whether you were feminine or masculine, to be not a respectable woman if you were not in a marriage all the way up to the 1960s.
You were bastardized.
You were bastardized and you were mistreated. And if you were a child that grew up in a single family household from 1960 all the way to the 14th century, it was wrong.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, though, what you're saying is, despite of that being wrong, those characteristics still existed and people hid behind them through those things. But in history, if you were in a single family household, you were mistreated like you were black or had the plague all the way up until 1960s.
Leopard.
You were a leopard, ostracized.
From 1960 to now, being in a single family household is normalized. That's all. That's what I meant by history. You are absolutely right that men were gay all the way back to the Greek times where they had a fake ass servant that was really their boyfriend.
And that wasn't a thing of black men either, just so you know. That was not a black man thing. This is Greek.
What I'm saying is they hid it and they put a stigmatism on it and made it wrong all the way up until around the 1960s. Then in the 1960s, it became okay to be raised in a single family. Media changed. How they addressed it changed. And what a lot of men and women are saying now is the reason that those children are being complimented or being allowed for it to be okay for them to be masculine or feminine in the opposite sex is because it's okay for them being in single family households. What we're saying is prior to 1960, even if you felt that way and you were feminine or you were masculine, you were beat up and mistreated for it. And it was called wrong.
You better hide that.
And you had to call him a male servant because you would have been killed if you called him something different.
That's not the truth. That's not the truth.
CJ.
Now,
it's okay.
I'm gonna let you talk, Jay. Jay, hold on one second. CJ, when we get off this call, we're gonna have a conversation. That is the truth. And I'm gonna tell you, I wish to tears right now I could be transparent on this show. You do not, I'm telling you, you can only know what you know. There's nothing wrong with that. And what you know is fact and truth. But there's a fact to a level that we're talking right now that you had to experience. And I'm telling you, I'm a part of that.
But in the room, what CJ is saying, I'm going to agree with CJ on it. In the Roman times,
you're 100% correct. Yes.
It was okay. And then, but what I'm saying, CJ, is the world came back to the Roman times and told them it wasn't and made them adjust.
But that was never the African concept ever. That whole lifestyle was never the African concept. That was brought on us through slavery with the buck busting and the massages shit they did to African males.
They raped a lot of the black men to demasculate
that buck busting and all that bullshit. That's how that shit came to be. That was never the behavior of African men.
And period. CJ, there was a time in the biblical times
hold on a second. I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all did with this conversation. When Leland first talked about more men being masculine and feminine, and I started talking about the conversation of that is what I was addressing. And then you tied into the lifestyle from the 60s and things like that about single parents. That is not what the question was first. The question first is what I addressed, and then y'all tied the single families into the conversation afterwards. That is why I was like, what are y'all talking about? And
but
what
I
y'all
didn't that
hold on, because that's not what I was addressing. I was addressing Leland's first question. I was not addressing the family household. And y'all can run this tape back. I was not addressing that. What y'all did was y'all combined the two, and then y'all made it into that. But as far as what history says, sure, y'all can say that. Sure, I know what I've read, and I know what I know, and I know what I've studied, and it's okay. It's fine. Y'all still got my ears, and I'm still listening.
So where did you study that black men in the 1400s were
in agreement with you?
No, there's no push and pull here. I'm still listening. What I was saying, I addressed what I said. I was talking about from what Leland had posted, what Leland was talking about, and then we went on and talked about a different conversation in the midst of that. And what was getting lost was my recognizing what was said from Leland at the beginning. Then we started talking about something else.
And that's what Michelle said. It's like you're talking from two different perspectives. Because
we
are. Leland spoke, then I spoke, and then you addressed Leland's conversation.
I did.
And I was addressing the last thing we talked about, which was when he mentioned single family households. Yeah, that is, and what made me address you was you said, no, I disagree. It goes all the way back to history. And I said, well, you need to know your history, because when it comes to single family households, that is new from the 60s to now. Prior to
guess what, listeners, when you're having a debate, listen to each other, motherfuckers. Shit. Anywho, no, and again, Byron, we can talk offline. It was I'm not combative. I should that word.
Why do you keep saying
that word?
Because you know why that's how I talk. That's how I talk. When I have a disagreement,
words are powerful, CJ. You got to study etymology, brother.
Guess what? They sure are. And for right now, where I am in life, that is the word that I'm going to use. Now, when I get y'all age, it may change.
No,
right now, it's not about age, brother. It's not about age.
Where I am, because you don't like the word that I'm using, I'm sorry. That's what makes people different in the world go round. I know what the definition of it is.
We don't like it. You don't like it. You're the one who keeps saying you don't want to use it.
I've changed it, but I use it because that's where I am in life.
We're not mad about it.
I'm not mad at you using the word.
Yeah, none of us are mad about it.
I'm reaching through the screen. I'm reaching through the screen and giving you a hug. You need a hug. You need a hug. We ain't attacking you.
Somebody reach in there and hug, CJ. Somebody reach in there and hug him. Reach in there and hug him.
When I get in the habit of changing that, then I will. But for right now, that's how I'm communicating.
Nobody asked you to stop using the word.
Leland is asking me to. Leland's like, you gotta think about that different, brother.
What? No. The reason I say that is this.
I'm feeling attacked.
Listen.
That's why I reached out for a hug.
Oh God.
I'm feeling my age right now, motherfuckers.
I can't. Man, you got to understand these words are power, brother. When you speak to the people, you're speaking energy. You're putting energy out there.
Are you really telling the Cancer and the Impact that we're come on, bro? That's the last thing.
I'm Cancer too. I'm also Cancer.
Bro, when I say I'm so connected to my Cancerian nature, is a whole thing. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying, meet me where I am, bro. That's what I'm saying. Meet me where I am. I'm gonna keep watching and keep listening because I'm gonna learn from y'all. But just meet me where I am.
But when you speak certain words, brother, these words are projected at us. You got to understand that. These words you're speaking are projected to us.
Right.
Right. So we're water energy. You know what happens when you speak into water?
Oh my God, yes. It flows.
Well, it doesn't just flow. It changes structure, brother. It changes.
I'm a rock it's flowing.
Right. And as a Cancer, you should understand that.
Pow, it bounces off.
Oh
it's like if somebody was saying, I try to do something. I would say, man, you got to stop using that word try, because you can't try something you can't use. You can't try to do anything. It's not possible to try something.
I want you, but I would like if you would just not define what needs to be taught within me from me saying one word, because I'm well aware. Hold on, I'm well aware that the power in life revolves in the power of the tongue. I'm well aware of that. But one word, it does not define who I am. And so
we're not saying it defines you. I'm not saying that.
I know, but when you're preaching to me about words have power, those things I already know. What I'm saying is
I'm not preaching to you, CJ. I'm just saying when you're speaking to us.
Please do not.
Hold it. Stop.
Every word I say.
CJ, pause. So this plays into the beginning of the conversation. So all you guys are clear?
Yeah.
It plays into two different dimensions. Number one, it plays into the alpha dimension.
Yeah. It does.
It plays totally into the alpha dimension. Totally. And I don't need to say anything else except to say both of you guys pause. The second thing is it plays into a boundary position.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear it because you're feeling attacked, and he's not being able to deliver it because he continues to attack because he wants to love on you the way he knows how to love on you. He's attempting to share it because, that's my conversation. But we are not delivering the message. This goes back to, this is not about the two of you. This goes back to the alpha conversation. If we do not, back to fuck what you're saying, if I can't comprehend what you're saying, I'm going to hold my position. Even to a fault. Because you aren't loving on me and serving me and sharing in a way in which I can receive it because I already have felt attacked. So fuck you.
But then again, Leland hasn't been around me long enough to know how to operate within me.
But this isn't about the two of you guys. Again, take that, move it.
Okay.
We're talking about alphas. Because it's done out of love on both sides.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
completely. All I'm saying is if you're speaking words to me.
See what I mean? That's the boundary, L. He's not going to receive it right now. I get you. I know what we're the same. He can't get it right now because you're making it about him instead of being able to make it for the people to hear. Now, let me make it for the people to hear. This ain't got nothing to do with CJ, because Jay knows me. There's 5 words that you don't use. This has nothing to do with you, CJ. This is a law I live by. Unless I'm helping somebody else, what if the shit works? I don't want to know about no if shit. Well, what if this? What if fuck that? What I want concrete. Try. To try is the lie. Either you're going to do it or you aren't. Either you're going to take a shit or you're not. Either you're going to fuck me or you're not. What the fuck you doing? Just go try it.
Yeah.
Can't is like that's an abomination. I can't do no more. Why the fuck you on my squad?
Mm-hmm.
And but is a premeditated lie. That means you actually thought about the lie before you fucking said it. I was going to meet you, CJ, but so you thought about why you couldn't meet. You have to come the fuck up here, and you didn't have the. So all we're talking about for the population is there's a reason why Jesus was the Word before he became Jesus. His name was the Word before he became Jesus, because words are so powerful that they can give life and they can give death. That's scriptural. And in that, to be able to build the audience and understand what we're saying without getting into the canister of the quadruplets here, it's a matter of just understanding your words of everything you do in life elevate you or sink you.
Yeah.
That's all everybody needs to understand. Now we need to move on to the next topic because
yes,
you and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
An entanglement, an entanglement.
an entanglement with August. I got into an entanglement with August,
An entanglement.
with August, with August, with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
An entanglement.
with August, with August, August, entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an
oh my God.
the reality of that is just understanding everybody looks through a different lens. The greatest way to be able to truly be able to always, we always looking for solutions,
Yeah.
That's the bottom line is if we spend more, and I don't even like the word spend. There you go. See there right there, CJ, I'm fucking up. If we invest more time, because even in relationships, you're either spending or you're investing.
Yeah.
With your money, you're either spending or you're investing with your time, with your energy, with who you are as a person, with everything that we do. So if we invest more time in understanding or attempting to look, and here's the problem with society today. We're all taking pictures from a fucking cell phone. And everybody thinks, and now you got it on social media, you got it on Instagram, which is instant friends, you got it on Facebook, which is fake friends, you got on all these motherfucking Twitters to be able to get shit in a split of a second. Everybody wants shit fast.
Yeah.
And they sit up there thinking that they actually taking a picture like they're a professional. A professional takes a camera, he's on the ground, he's angling it, he's taking his time, he's making sure he's got the lens. But we sitting up there using cell phone, snapping it and then posting it up there and doing a little airbrushing and all these instant tools they give us. And the principles of life are never going to change. Whether it's translated in the millennial or in the baby boomer, the basic principle blocks of building life, building respect, building loyalty, building manhood, being a strong woman is never going to change.
Yeah.
We can give it. I mean, I just read up on something like a week ago. There's like, it fucked me up. It's like there's 120 different sexualities now. I'm like, what the fuck do you check? Bisexual, sexual, what the fuck is this?
And it's no longer okay to say what you were born as. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you have to now tell people you are a cisgendered male or a cisgendered female to know that you identify what you're born with.
Is that the next topic? Or
No, I don't have to tell nobody.
Are we talking about entanglement?
Who wants to tickle my pickle?
And we got it completely off the fucking grid here.
I think perspective is everything, right? The
It
story
is. It is. It's just,
told many times. It doesn't change the story. The name has been different. It's been told a lot of times. And I think what we're trying to say is what every generation has a different perspective, but the baseline of the story is the same. And we have to identify what matters and what doesn't. And to you, because the definition of an alpha male is not going to be the same to everybody. And there are some people that are going to steadfast to their definition of what an alpha male and female is. And it will be true because it's true to them.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
When I just saw that clip with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith about the entanglement thing.
Yes.
Here's a prime example of beta male activity.
Okay.
At its worst. Now here's a woman who was madly in love with Tupac Shakur. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
It's an alpha male.
With an absolute, here we go. 100%. With an alpha male. So Will Smith, after this man dies, takes this woman to be his wife, who is in love with an alpha male. Now, even though this alpha male is dead, it don't matter. she is still
And he
attached
hated
to
him, by the way.
She's still attached to him. You don't take on a woman who's in love with another man and marry her. You don't do that. That was his mistake. She's never loved him. Will Smith. That's the beta male activity right there. That's why this entanglement shit happened. She had no respect for him at all. None.
I don't think that's why I think the entanglement should happen because he was having other entanglements himself. And it was
she
okay
didn't
for her
care.
to do it.
Because if he was alpha, that entanglement wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have had another male in his house in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That would never happen with no alpha male. I ain't having no man come in my fucking house.
And live?
And live?
And
what kind of bullshit is that?
It's funny you say that because I wouldn't have another female come in my house and live. I don't give a fuck if we share the same DNA.
Exactly.
You can't come live here.
That's some bullshit.
That's facts.
I don't think she loved that man at all. She didn't give a shit about it.
A woman is the same way. You let another woman move into your No. Nope.
Yeah, when I saw that clip, it just, I got cold. I was like, damn.
Speaking of pickles, I have homemade ones.
You know what?
Did you put that pickle post up there?
Yeah, it's homemade. I make pickles and shit now.
No, but he didn't put the post up.
Oh no, that was Wendy. Pickle tickle.
Yeah.
Well,
but
look,
the solution is one of the solutions is you have so many movements that started back in the 60s of women wanting equal rights, of how to become whatever woman you choose to be.
Yeah.
The challenge or the problem that needs more solutions is that there aren't enough men stepping up to teach men how to be men.
Yeah.
They don't know.
And that leads to confusion. That leads to chaos. And that leads to everything that's going on right now as far as the lack of leadership, because men were built to lead. Women were built to hunt. Now men are hunting and women are leading.
Yeah. And that's the level they're destroying us on right there. This is all by design. It's so
exactly.
And by default. It's like a lot of women took that position because they had to.
Yeah.
By default.
It's sad. It really is.
And like Leland said, the older he got, the more he was like, I'm not chasing a whole bunch of women in the street, because we weren't meant to do that. We were meant to find a rib, you know.
And y'all also have to play into the fact
because I went through the portal of thinking and hearing and listening to the masses that the more women you have, the more women you can be with, it was a perception that was the perception of what a delusional one, a misconception, and it actually has hurt the entire human race, specifically ours.
Yeah.
Ours is the one that's under attack.
Oh, heavily.
We're under attack in the worst way right now.
That's a Willie Lynch law right there. It's like, hey, you know what? We already know how strong you are. Why don't we just tie you to two horses and rip you in half in front of your wife and then your child?
And also, guys, you know, I'm also going to say this because it is what it is. You also have to play in factor that of my European side. I do. It's a part of my DNA. My father's Italian. Yeah, so you have to play in the factor that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So you have to play that into factor. So yeah. So thank you, Leland. Now you get it. Thank you, Leland. You know, you have to play in that factor too. You gotta put that in there as well.
I mean, that gets into, you know, the straight hair conversation, the white is right conversation.
Oh shit!
I don't care if I get a booger bear. Let me get the ugliest one to put on my arm so that I can feel like I got a trophy on both sides of the fence. It plays into a whole lot of poison that was poured into a pure river.
Leland, you had some questions for me last week that we asked you to save for now.
Yeah.
What were some of the questions you had for me?
Oh man. Let me see if I wrote them down. I wrote them down.
Go back to what Miss Yancey said, Wendy.
Yes, Ruben, I am. You are too.
What about the women who are smart enough to play dumb to take all by saying whatever you say, baby. Is that really smart?
Whatever it is you like. That's what Gene was saying earlier.
What she's trying to say is
whatever you like.
Who choose to play the position of submission, even though they really are not. But they're doing it because they need to gain information in order to move a certain way. That's what she means. I play dumb, but I'm really not. Because some men don't want to hear an intelligent female speak, so they play to be stupid.
I want to hear
that an alpha male that she's with, though. On Erica, I would say no. She's with the man who is an A type who wants to be an alpha male and can't be.
I mean, if we're in public, that's one thing. We're amongst ourselves. I don't want you playing shit. I just think there's a lane for everything and for everyone. Back to the hammer and screwdriver. Hammer is not going to help with a screw, and a screwdriver is not going to help with a nail.
Tighty righty, lefty loosey.
There you go.
All right, Byron, get us out of here. And
man, well,
you know what, Leland? Can I personally say thank you?
What you want to personally say?
I want to personally say thank you, brother. I feel like I have somebody new in my life I can holler at, I can talk to, and that I mutually respect. So I truly want to say thank you for just coming on the show and. You know, because I want the listeners to know this. If you ever watch The View, you know how them bitches always get on each other and they laugh and they joke and then they really, truly argue with each other. But if you notice, they always say later on after the show, they go and get something to drink and they eat. Trust me, when we have these type of conversations, as we explained before, when it was Gene's turn, today was my hot seat. But I want to let you know that there is no bitterness or nothing because I love each one of my brothers and sisters that are on here. There is none of that.
Animosity.
It is none at all. And if anything from my side, I have learned even more and gained another just another insight to my way of thinking. So I thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoyed being here. I did.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
answer my question earlier, though.
Huh?
I was telling you, she did answer my question earlier when I was asking about the. What did I ask her? I asked her something about the women taking.
What are you eating over there, CJ?
God damn it! Leave me alone! I'm telling you, today has been a day. Shit! Now I'm eating some.
Did you just have a Tourette outburst?
I done ate pickles. I done ate apples. I've eaten cheese that I.
Will Simps always get played?
What?
Will Simps always get played?
Do who always get played?
Simps.
Will Simps always get played?
Simple motherfuckers.
Oh my God! Listen.
Simps.
In my younger days,
will women always play them?
In my younger days, you are supposed to be played.
Please
in my older days,
I want brothers to hear that. From a woman, I want brothers need to hear that right now.
Yep.
I will caution you and say, back up, because you need to be this tall to ride this ride. If you come here, you might be hurt. And I will say it like that. And if you cross that line, yeah. I got all your stocks and bonds by the end of the night. It's over.
This is my last question for you, though, Gene. I think this is something I wanted to just throw out there. Like, if a woman ever knew, that's what I asked you earlier when I was telling if a woman ever knew you as a beta. Remember we talked about that? If a woman ever knew you as a beta, she ain't going to respect you as no alpha. But do women want to be loved by a man they don't love back?
Loved by a man they don't love back. I'm going to say we're conditioned to be loved by a man that we don't love back.
What's the woman's position, though? Like, how do you feel about that? Because that's just something I'm about to write something on that right now. And I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
I think every woman wants to be loved by a man that they love back. But as you get older and you go through the process of not being loved, you will accept being loved by a man you don't love back.
How sweet it is to be loved by you.
You will trade it for peace of mind, and you will trade it for a future. If you've gone through life being loved by a man that you did love back and didn't treat you right, you will get to an age where you will no longer look for love. And I hope you heard me.
Wow.
That. Yeah, that's real.
Any questions for me, Leland?
Oh Lord,
you will look for that love. You will go for love, but if love ain't working, you will immediately retreat to security.
So I'm thinking, Caesar, you came up with it in like the 80s?
Me?
No, I came. Well, you came up in the. You still trying to make me say something about my age? That I remember the 90s. Yeah.
Oh, you remember the 90s?
When the Cosby Show was on, I was in my single digits.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah. But my mother was the only child, so I grew up with my grandmother's brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
and so that's why I have an older sister and I have a younger brother.
Okay.
Older sister's from my mom. I was raised as the youngest child, and then this new brother just came up 2 years ago.
Huh?
Yeah, my father had another child outside of whatever.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that I've heard consistently women say that I've given up on love, but I've never heard, I'm not going to say never. It's rare that I hear a man say that I gave up on love.
Men do all the damn loving in the first place. That's the problem.
I got that. But I mean, it's just understanding.
But it's just that we don't.
Both of them want love equally.
Yeah.
Both of them want love.
No, my position is that they don't want it equally. That's my position. I don't think women want it equally.
Here we go.
That's why I asked Jean what I asked her, because I believe that when men really go after the woman, like here these simps will do all this shit. They'll chase them down. They buy them a bunch of shit. That's what they do.
Nothing to do with love.
Well,
zero.
Well, that's what men are calling it.
But when women,
but that's what the men are calling it, Gene. The men are thinking, "Oh, I love her."
What you calling it?
It's emotion. It's emotional.
It's not love. It's lust.
Yeah, it's emotion. You know, love is emotion.
Are we about to have a real conversation? Because you just triggered me.
You're already there.
Let's go.
You're just saying if a man pays money and showers her in gifts,
that's not love.
You're saying that he can't express himself with gifts.
If I'm sucking your dick every day, is that expressing it physically?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But he's perceiving it. But he's perceiving that it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's perceiving that you love him. But you may not give a shit about it.
How can he perceive it as love when he's getting his dick sucked by 5 motherfuckers?
Oh, we didn't say 5. We talking about one.
Let's stay with one. Let's stay on topic. Stay on topic. Just one. Let's stay on topic. Just one. It's you and him. No other females.
Okay.
Stay on topic.
Okay.
That's how they feel, I think.
They feel that
their position is
money and
their position is they're in love.
That is love. I agree. But how many situations like that are the norm today?
Oh, today is ratchet.
Right. So I'm coming from the perspective of today. So I'm going to say today, there are a lot of men who will spend their money on I know a man who will give the same gift to 5 bitches just so he can remember what he gave a motherfucker.
I'm not that motherfucker.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is a woman, let me give you a woman will associate love with loving you no matter motherfucking what. If you lose it, this is a real woman, not these new bitches. These new bitches are different. A real woman will say, if you had it and you lost it, I love you anyway. If you gain weight and you lost it, I love you anyway. If you ain't the man in your life where you were before, but you got it, I'm gonna help you build it anyway. Right?
I agree with you.
Men do that. A man will say, remember what the fuck I fell in love with when I met you. And if that shit goes away, I may digress. I may fall short. And to me, there's a difference.
I don't agree with that. I think if a man is in love, he feels the same way. If he's just loving you, then that falls into that category. Major distinction of being in love.
I agree with that.
Totally agree with. So if I love you,
if I love you,
some weight, that shit could digress.
Well, Jean said that. Jean said that earlier. She said love, or is it lust? She said that earlier.
No, but I'm talking about love and being in love. Now we're going to another level.
Because women love differently, okay? Women love you. I think a woman if she really, really loves you, it won't matter what happens.
Agreed.
She will still love you anyway.
And I feel that's the same way of a man that's in love, not loving you.
But see, a man is a little bit more equipped to separate his indiscretions from love. And the reason why I know that is because I can think that way. You can still love someone deeply and still fall short in the way a man does. And most women don't fall short that way. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying? There's only a handful of us that can get it. Because the loyalty factor is not always associated with love. I know many men that be like, I didn't love that bitch, but I fucked her.
I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be our topic for next week because Leland has a way of proposing shit, and then all of a sudden we're gonna talk for another 3 hours. No.
Everybody's on COVID, nigga, in quarantine. We ain't got shit else to do.
Well, we're gonna hold this.
But it's real talk, though. I mean, that's some shit. That's
real conversation of being in love and loving somebody. And Gina, and she's making a great point. But and then again, we're still talking through our lens, right?
Yeah.
If I'm in love, there's a no holds bar. You know, if I'm in love, and anybody that knows me knows you don't have to question whether that motherfucker is done. Because there's no limit, there's no bar, there's no discussion. If you have to question whether I'm in love with you or not, I'm probably not.
That's right.
That means I just love your ass. And you don't have to deal with it. You can walk the fuck on. But if I'm in love with you,
doesn't mean that you don't love them. And see, a lot of women, because I know men, all my NBA friends, I know that they loved all their hoes.
Oh shit.
Okay? But I knew that they were in love with one of them. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I'm glad you said totally, because the key to that conversation was there was still other hoes.
And guess what? I know women like that too. Equally yoked.
Yep. But the women
wait.
Like that, the women
Wendy, pull up Dave's comment.
Much more like men.
Because when you're looking at, when you look at it, it's like, for me, it's really a simple thing between righty tighty, lefty loosey, CJ.
Lit moment, Byron. Leaning back like Malcolm and Farrakhan.
So, when you look at it, it's like, because this is a serious topic. The reality, what Gene just said is 100% true. You're right. They have other hoes, just like I know women that got someone who they're in love with until they define themselves, right? Because that goes back to listening. If you're paying attention and listening, you already know. And even when you aren't, you actually know. You just are an optimistic motherfucker. Because I'm just a hopeless romantic. If I'm done, I'm done. In fact, I'm so done when I'm done that if you question that, are you in love? It's almost like talking to somebody who's so morally epic that if you accuse them of lying, they want to beat your ass because their integrity is so fucking hot. To challenge certain people, like to challenge me if I'm lying, it depends if I am, what mood I'm in. It's like, was it gray?
But can we all agree that you can be in love with someone? And so I want to know from the men, because men say this all the time. You can be in love with someone and still cheat on them, but doesn't mean you don't love them. Is that fact?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I know a lot of women will give me flack for that, but I 100% agree.
That's the truth.
In my younger years, I would believe if someone cheated on you, they didn't love you, but that's actually not the case.
That is not true at all. That is not true.
That is not the case.
Agreed.
CJ,
doesn't make it right. It's just not the case.
It doesn't make it right. Absolutely.
Doesn't make it right.
What say you?
Friday night, you and your boys went
because you have people like I was just looking at one comment in here is like, and I believe it came from Elsa, and she's like, I want someone who reciprocates or loves me the same way or equally or something like that. See, I'm not coming to the table like, it has nothing to do with her.
It'll never balance out that way all the time.
I'm not coming to the table. If I come to the table, I'm coming to the table with my chips. And then it's going to be my choice to walk the fuck away if it's not reciprocated. It's not like I will come if you come. I'm going to, I got a certain thing. One of the things I dislike when somebody come and tell me this is what I'll never do or this is what I won't stand for.
You never know what
you'll come to the table with that. Back the fuck up. You ain't even got to worry about me.
But the balance is the illusion. Because let me tell you something. I spent 17 years in one, 12 years in another. There are going to be times one person loves the other more. It has nothing to do with how you feel about them. It has to do with what you're going through in that moment.
That's every relationship.
That's okay.
Yes,
that's
that's
a
every
real
relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need that. If you're seeking for equality in the love factor, in the like factor, in the balance, it doesn't exist. And that's why motherfuckers fail.
Yep.
I'm going to need you to love me more certain times. I'm going to need to love you more in certain times. And I think when you figure that out, that's where reality sets in.
For me, it's not going to be a back and forth thing, though.
No, we ain't doing no tug of war and no ebb and flow shit on this.
It's not going to be back and forth. I'm going to be the one that's lesser.
That's lesser.
Yeah.
So you're going to love less.
I already know that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I already know that
That's
I'm
part
not.
of the sadness.
But there'll ever come a time in your
going
relationship where your woman will need you to love her a little bit more.
Well, no, what I'm going to give her is going to be enough for her.
Says who? What if she tells you it's not?
Well, if I have to get into that relationship dynamic. I have to get there. I got to get there.
With growth comes change. With evolution comes a bigger moment. So if you're not growing with the evolution, if you stay stagnant in your place, and I require more, or you require more in that moment.
But what we're talking about is not going to matter. It's not going to matter. 5%, 10% less is not going to matter. It really is not. It's not. Just when I say less, you're thinking less like 50%, 100%.
I think of less in the definition of less.
Well, less means it could be, but less has a full definition. It can be 5%, 10%, 70%, 10%. Then it means something. We got.
No, it doesn't. You just said it doesn't.
No, who said it doesn't?
You just said I'm not talking in the realm of percentages. So
I said I am talking in the realm of percentages.
Oh, okay. I thought you weren't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Brian, like you just said, certain people come to the table with the that is mandatory in the law of reciprocity. That again plays into what Leland was just saying. It's never going to be even.
No.
In fact, I mean, because if you're pursuing a woman, you're already, the balances are already off scale. You come in,
you're already gone.
It's already off.
And if you're looking at her as the prize, you already failed.
And you take on certain, I mean, depending on your, I believe your moral compass comes from the woman, and your alpha, if you will, comes from your male, learning how to be a man. And the wisdom of knowing how to sustain, maintain, and elevate comes from a man.
Can I say something real quick?
By all means.
Leland just said, if you're looking at her as the prize, you already failed. I actually agree with that statement. But what I will say, ladies, you better know you the prize, whether he thinks you are or fucking not, because you'll bring a certain level to the table that he will just automatically match or exceed. Don't misunderstand that statement. You better know who you are before he even approaches you. And if he doesn't understand who the fuck you are when he approaches you, he's not for you.
And I'll tell you something, me and Leland, and I'm sure CJ has experienced from three different spaces of life, that fact is a fact. I'm really getting a little bit too transparent on this, because I don't know who the fuck I'll see this. But I'm gonna tell you from my past what has been the biggest problem that has put a woman in a lost position before she started. Guaranteed loss before she started, whether it lasts for 2 months or whether it lasts for 20 years, she's already lost in being able to retain, maintain, and elevate a relationship with me for a permanent or long term. Is they come to a king, and the first thing they say is, how'd you choose me? What made you choose me of all the people? And they come with that subservient up front. They didn't know they were a queen stepping to the table.
That's lack.
So you already put yourself in a peasant position.
I agree.
I'm like looking at you like you're a queen, and you step into me like a peasant. You have subconsciously placed yourself in a space that I can't pull you out of.
It's kind of like what the old people say is that leave people alone long enough and let them talk, and you'll see who they really are.
110.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are dressed. Halloween sometimes is all year. You can put on a queen's costume and makeup, and you can even study the first 2 sentences that a queen will say. But you got to get past that as a man to figure out what's really going on. I would never ask you why you approached me.
Girl, if I could get a dollar for every woman that ever said that for the last 20 years.
Yep.
From the beginning to the end. And then they feel like, and then when they finally get the moxie because you give them some time, now they think they're your equal and got an equal voice. Bitch, you came to the table subservient.
Has there ever been a point though where you ask your mate, you just look them in their eyes and just, even if there's no conflict, you just say, "Why are we together?"
Oh shit, nigga.
No. Even if there's no conflict, you just say, "Why are we together?" And you start elaborating on why you love each other.
I've never had that conversation.
I've never had that conversation.
And I think a lot of people have never had that conversation because you fall in love with those things that you think.
Well, I'll be honest. I have my cake for a long time.
What I'm saying is that
I have my cake for a long time. I had Captain Save-A-Ho for a long time. I flew around for a long time.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying that being involved in a beautiful or loving relationship, I think that you still can ask the questions of, why are we in love? What is it I love about you? What is it that makes me come home to you faithfully? I think I wouldn't
ask why. I would say
I think those are, well, no, I just think that those are beautiful questions to ask while you're in a loving relationship, because a lot of times we go on what we think because of what we see, but not actually of what we say. So that's why I was thinking, like, are people having those type of conversations?
If you have to have that conversation, why are you in a relationship?
No,
show me. I don't give a shit about what you're saying. Show me.
I don't think it's the question of if
there you go.
Ask. I think sometimes no. That does, hold on, that does fall in line with it. See, I'm not even looking at this as a negative thing or as a question of our love.
We're not either. I mean, I'm not.
I'm looking at it just as in a healthy, loving relationship. I have never heard anybody say that they look into their mate's eyes and just, I'm in love with you because of this, or why do you love me? Why are we together? Because I just love being with you. Like I think
if you're constantly reinventing yourself in the relationship, that should be and is a mandatory conversation that is consistent going on, because that's when motherfuckers get caught up in the black hole and one outgrows the other, because that conversation is not consistently on the plate. I
don't think it looks that way for everybody. I think you got to consider the personality and the type of people that you're in a relationship with. Robin and I don't communicate from a specific a place of questioning. We communicate from a space of absolute. So we just recently had this conversation. You know why we together? Because we're this way. I realize this works.
Well,
because
it falls in line with what you're talking about. It. That's what I'm saying.
We talk about it. Yeah. We just don't ask the question because it's not a question. I know why it's that way, but we like to every now and then talk about why it's that way. So I
think it's good. I personally, but when I'm getting involved in a relationship, that's what I'm going to start doing. I think it's great to just ask. I don't see it as I should know. I think it's great to ask questions that I need to hear or that I want to hear.
You're gonna run that woman off.
I don't think so. Because I know who's going to be for me is going to be designed to where that personality that I have and that I give off is going to be designed for me, and so she will respect that in me because that's going to be who's for me.
That may be true, because I think if you asked me why, I would be like, why don't you know why? I do.
Ask the question, CJ.
But I get what you mean, CJ, because the dialogue is important to have.
Yeah.
But ask the question, CJ. Please ask the question.
Ask which question?
The question that you would put to your other.
If we're laying in bed, and I would say, "Hey, baby, I love you, and I love what we have, and why do you love me? What is it about me that? Because I can tell you why I love you." And I think that would open up the dialogue. I think that we need to have those kind of conversations. I think that we need to listen to each other. She can show me all day. She can show me all day, and I love that she's showing me. And most people would think because you show me, you don't have to ask. I like communicating. And
there you go. You have different love languages, and CJ, that's your love language. For me, my thinking is your action speaks so loud. I don't have to hear shit that's coming out your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't,
and to answer what you said, Leland, if it runs her way, she ain't for me.
Agreed.
I agree. Exactly. But that'll probably help you find out a whole bunch of them ain't.
Right.
Because
but it goes also into just like, what we've been talking about as far as the alpha. If you need them, you can't lead them. Yeah. I don't need nobody. If I have you in my space, I want you in my space.
Yeah.
I don't need you in my space. I need this and I need that. And this is what I need. And I need this kind of man. I need this kind of, this is my standard. This shit, I don't need shit from you.
Because I'll tell you this, growing up with a single mother, I saw things that she hid that she actually needed from the boyfriend she had. I saw those things that wasn't communicated. I saw those things. And I've always, and it doesn't define me being an alpha. It doesn't define me being a type A. It defines me being a human and being compassionate on what a woman needs. And from my perspective of seeing my mom like that, I told myself that I would open up the lines of communication to know that we are communicating, that we're operating, that we are living as a person, as people who communicate, regardless of whatever the type is or the thing need to be or what people don't need to ask. I'm one person that, again, like you said, my love language, I want to ask because I saw my mom didn't have those things fulfilled because questions wasn't asked. It was just done because it was shown, but not asked.
Right.
You know what? Behind that, I think a lot of sons are going to observe their mothers in those situations and see what they thought they needed and try to make sure that they apply it in their relationships in the future. The only problem with that is you shut yourself off from the women that are not like your mom. Not to say that it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for example, I personally would be, if you had to ask me, I might be offended. But I don't think it's anything wrong with that being your love language.
But let me make it clear. I don't want a woman like my mama.
I know.
Let me make that real clear.
But you're using a tactic that your mama.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it from an emotional communication side. I'm looking at an emotional communication
side. So what
side.
you don't get that you're saying is from an emotional communication side, you will actually attract someone who emotionally needs that type of communication like your mama. And so because you're gonna want to provide something that she didn't have to them, and you're gonna fight to do that no matter what relationship you're in because it bothered you to see your mama not.
Can you say that in a different way? Because when you say provide what my mother didn't get, that's not how I operate. So I need you to say that in a different way for me to understand where you're coming from, because there's a level of communication that I'm saying that you're not receiving, because how you're saying it is not how I'm receiving it or how I'm stating it.
What you said was because your mother didn't receive that, you want to make sure that you saw that bothered her. And then when you get in a relationship, you want to make sure that love language is communicated in the way she didn't receive it. Did I hear that wrong?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
what I'm saying, because lack of
going through that.
Because right? but I'm saying I use my mother as a way of communicating that emotion. But what I'm saying is that it didn't even have to be my mom, but it was my mom that I saw. I'm not in the business of replacing or trying to be that which my mother didn't have. What I'm saying is I made an observation and I'm gonna do what I think that was a lacking in her life. I've seen that in other people's
exactly what
lives,
I just
but
said.
because
that's what I meant.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that
she said that. She did.
Okay, because how you were grouping it, you were saying that I'm trying to be or do the replacement of.
No,
and
you said what you saw your mama lack. You're going to make sure it doesn't lack in your relationship, correct?
Because now it makes sense. Because I want because I've seen that as a negative in relationships, and I've just and I haven't heard. No, but here's what I'm hearing in all these perspectives that are on here. I shouldn't have to say that. You see what I'm saying? Every box in here has said I shouldn't have to say that. There is not one that has agreed with me. Not that I'm looking for y'all to, but a lot of the perception has been I should not have to say that. And that is the dialogue and that is the conversation I want to have, because I think that some should.
CJ, was you raised with your dad too?
I said my mom was a single person. No. Single mother.
Okay, yeah. Well,
yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't think I disagreed with that. I think I said that Robin and I have those conversations. The one caveat that is different is the question. I don't want to be asked. I'd rather we have the dialogue where I tell you why I love you and you tell me why you love me and we reminisce on the things that got us together. But that question is the question that throws me off.
Yeah, I would never pose that question to anyone.
It's interesting that y'all. It's interesting that y'all have that opposition on asking. It's interesting that y'all have that opposition on asking.
Yeah, I do, and I think that's a personality thing, right? I think there are. What I do agree with you on is you will attract someone who requires that too, and is okay with that.
Absolutely,
there's nothing wrong with it at all.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm saying I know who the fuck I am and why I chose to be with you. And I also know why he chose to be with me. And I do.
And my woman's going to know the same thing. That's how I feel. That's a choice.
But here's where I am with CJ.
But here y'all all keep saying she's gonna know. She's gonna know. I'm never saying she's gonna. Hold on. I'm never saying she's not gonna know. She is gonna know. I just want to ask the question. My actions are gonna show.
Why do you want to ask the question? Why?
Because that's how I'm made up. That's my way of communicating. I want to do it because I want to.
And some people need to hear, and you're 100% CJ, and that's 100% correct, because some people need to hear. Like, I was in a relationship and she's like, I just need to hear you say I love you. How many times I gotta show? I mean, how many times I gotta say this? Right? But that was her makeup, right? She needed to hear it over and over again. And we ended up in a conversation saying, I need you to go find a motherfucker who's gonna tell you over and over again versus what I show.
It don't have to be over and over again. It's just that I think
validation of it.
Personally, it's not. No, I get the frame. You're correct in what I'm saying. With her, there was nothing wrong. With what you're saying, there's nothing wrong. And what Jay just said is you're going to attract somebody who feels the same way as you do.
Yeah.
Fully yoked. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. For me, I want to constantly reinvent I want to have more conversations about how we're reinventing the relationship.
I'm glad y'all are saying that there's nothing wrong with it.
Each other. Over and over again.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with you asking. That's for damn sure.
I'm glad that y'all are saying that, because I do want to make mention that before it was coming across as, why should I have to? I shouldn't have to do that. No, that's why I'm saying I'm glad y'all are clearing that up, because to our viewers and listeners, it was coming across that all three of y'all were like, I don't have to ask that. They should just know that. That ain't make. And it was
because that's required for our
right. We're speaking on our love language.
Our love language.
Yeah. Like our love language doesn't require.
Yeah. My love language is, if you do that to me and you ask me, I will be turned off. But I respect your love language. And what I also said was, Robin and I do that. We just don't ask it in the form.
You just don't ask it. Yeah.
Right. That's it. So I think that one thing about Robin and I, we laugh because we're really the same people. Like,
you really are.
We're the same people. So you will attract someone that's just like you.
Yeah.
And it will be beautiful and it will be okay. And it doesn't matter if another motherfucker doesn't want to receive it that way.
Yeah.
There's a congruency. I mean, and in that because when you say that, you look at the outburst of the comments and everybody's like, well, I need to hear it. And you hear somebody else saying, I don't need to hear it. I need them to show it. It's all subjective, you know. For me, in different relationships, it's like I'm challenged with people who don't read signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
if
I didn't call your ass back, there's a reason.
But I truly believe women would say, I truly believe the majority of women that are watching would probably say, I like that. I like that. I want that. I think the majority of women would probably say that.
I'm not normal.
No. The majority of women would say it, but they would say it. But if it happened, it would turn them off.
And you got to know your pros and cons. What's going to keep you intrigued? What's going to keep you enlightened? What's going to ignite you on a daily basis that's going to fuel you, not that's going to sustain you? What conversations are going to fuel you, inspire you, not motivate you?
You know why I asked that too? Because y'all both actually communicate like that with me. And you know what? I've never had to tell y'all that. It's because y'all know that about me. Y'all both say, CJ, this is why I like you. Byron, this is why CJ is my brother. And y'all are basically saying what I said. I just have to use it in the form of a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I totally understand, because at times those two, my brother and sister, literally will say what I need to hear at the moment, because we were all speaking the same language. But for me, at times, I want to check in with you and ask you the question, not because I need my head filled or something like that, because I want you to have expression. I want you to say what's on your mind, and I want you to feel like this is a partnership. And that is why I saw that again, Gene. I'll go back to that. I didn't see that as a partnership with my mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to make sure that I communicate as much and as often as I can, even if I need to take a step back and listen to what's going on or feel what's going on, but I still want to be able to communicate that verbally at times.
You know what's funny about that?
Mm-hmm.
I observed my mother's relationships with men, right? And I just vowed whatever it was, I would do the opposite. But something about her that she does that I refuse to do is that constant. She always was in a situation where she constantly had to validate. Oh, make sure you call them and tell them they did a good job, or make sure you remind them.
Shit, I wish my mama did
or
do
make
that.
sure you. She would ask me sometimes to do that with her boyfriends or her husband at that time, and she was like that with them. And
my mama was like, if they don't like you, fuck them.
Nope, she was the opposite. Make sure you told him his food was great. Call him and talk about. And because she did that with me and I watched her do it, I preferred to show you how I love you than tell you, because I felt that was fake.
And you definitely show it. I will say that how even you and I are around each other, you show it to. I mean, I don't know. I don't see with you. I wouldn't have to question or ask you, because it is clearly evident and show. And I'm not saying that I have to ask the question because I don't see it, but I'm just saying I don't. But there may be one day I may get drunk, Gene, and be like, Gene, why do you like me?
I was like, shut up, fool. You know
it won't be the same thing. It won't be the same.
It won't be the same.
It won't be the same.
I tell you,
I know. I'm fucking around.
When you look at it, and it's like, I think I shared this once before, CJ. And I said every woman has daddy issues. Mm-hmm. I think CJ has heard me talk about it, and I believe that every man has mommy issues.
Yeah.
You know, I won't probe too much on the men's side, but I will talk about it a little bit. But in that, you know, if a woman grew up without a father, the man she's looking for is a man that's going to bring stability and always be there.
Yeah,
daddy.
If she daddy, right?
Is that true, really? Because I grew up without
you are an anomaly and an alien. Shut up. Okay, you are totally out of this park. This has nothing to do with you. Generally speaking, women are looking that didn't have a father there. They're looking for a man that is going to be there, that they can count on, that they can rely on, that's going to bring them stability. If a woman had a father that was always there, but he was working all the time, she's looking for a man who's going to be at home and raise the family, because that's what she was missing in that capacity. And then you have some women that were raised in such an extraordinary environment with such a great provider and loving father that no man that she gets with ever matches up to her daddy.
She needs an alpha.
And so Leland asked the question in the beginning of the conversation, is like, so, you know, to be able to choose a female, you know, if we're talking to young men specifically, like for my son, I believe the true, and it's not absolute, because again, Gene, you're an anomaly in this case. So
I just don't relate to any of
I
that.
understand, just like CJ, both of you guys take it personally. This ain't got nothing to do with anybody on the screen, because both of y'all are aliens. But generally speaking, for me, I'm looking at a woman, because my mommy issues are that if I have a woman, I had a woman that was the bomb.com. I mean, she was sexually, she was off the chain. Spiritually, she was growing, driven, fighter, but she wouldn't serve. So she wouldn't wake up and be like, I'm about to go speak. It's like, can I iron your shirt? She's like, just lie there in bed, bitch. What? Now, that's subjective. For me, like Leland said, he doesn't need somebody who's going to cook, clean, and do all that. I want a woman who that's what they choose to do it. They don't have to do it, but they choose to serve me in a capacity that I'm feeling completely like a king. And each man has a different platform, which makes him feel like a king.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Absolutely.
for me, she was immediately a woman who doesn't have what I call, you know, EB, which is emotional balance.
Yeah.
You want to talk when you want to talk. You want quality time when you want quality time. You aren't even taking time to understand where I'm coming from, because you want what you want.
How many women have you poured into? How many have you poured into?
Man.
How many have you poured into?
Poured what?
You know.
Body fluids? What are we talking about?
No.
You talking to yourself? So what we're talking about here, you know what? That was so foul.
Look, we are at the 2.5 hour mark. And,
oh my God.
Yeah,
that was y'all did the last time I was on.
I know you did it.
You did it.
It wasn't my fault.
It ain't my fault.
No, it wasn't my fault.
It ain't my
fault. It ain't my fault. Did I
just hanging out with y'all?
Right. But no, we want to make sure that, you know, when we go long, we be able to, you know, separate the shows into, you know, different segments or whatever. But I again want to thank Leland for coming in and give us a different perspective on the show. As always, you know, it's good to hear another voice or extension of Byron. It really is.
Oh.
No, seriously. And I say that in all greatness and honesty.
We echo each other for real.
I know, and I hear bits and pieces in him that I've heard from you. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful thing.
We're very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And it's sometimes, like I find myself saying things that are like Byron because I've been around him long enough. So no, I think it's cool. But yeah, this old.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the comments.
What they say?
What they saying? Loving this, getting everybody all heated up.
Says,
protein for hair and nails. Go ahead, Byron, and go on through the list, man. Come on.
All right.
Read some of them, Byron. I want to know what they said.
All right, I'll read some of them. So, Brian said, I'm with you on that, Kyron. That's the ideal right there. I like someone who chooses to make herself available without my asking or needing her. And for those that are listening, just so you're clear, I give 10 times more than I take.
Me too.
That's true.
So that's fact right there. So,
and any woman that's want to chime in, that's on here that know me, that has had a relationship with me, will definitely chime in and say that.
Exactly.
Even with how I am with Robin, there are certain things. I may not want to, but if he is hungry and you know this, Byron, because you stayed with him before, I will get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and make him a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That's beautiful. Go
ahead, Jay. Go ahead, girl.
That's what I want. That's beautiful.
Yep.
But there are things that I do for him that I will not do for no one else.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the woman I'm looking at, right?
So he knows that, but people in the world don't know that about me, and they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to know. That's right. No.
So period. It is what it is.
So
what you got, Byron?
We got That's a Man. Ooh, I'm loving this. From Elsa, That's a Man. Luis, this was truly needed. Sophia, fire. Fat Nay,
want to be a woman like
you all alphas up there. Fat Nay's on. Donna Duncan said, real talk. Okay, could y'all stop so I can get to it? Miss Yancey said, let us cheese mayo. Laughing my ass off. The king can get it. The hamburger, get it. So Sika said, I hear you.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
Michelle,
and if an alpha man can get an alpha female to bend that way in their at home, she is probably just as much or even more sexually charged than he is. He would have a happy ass life. Period.
Amen.
Yours a happy home.
Patty said, hey, this was awesome, raw and real talk. Leela, Nico, very nice show. Depends. I had a man who wanted me to pass him the juice and it was reachable. Get it yourself, Negro. She said, I was laughing
at that. I was trying not to bust out laughing earlier.
You know what? But there's sometimes you just want somebody to get it for you. You know, that's true facts. That's facts. Sometimes I can do something. Say, get it yourself or do it yourself, and I'm like, all right, that's a mental note. Because if you ask me to do anything, I don't care if it's right next to you. If I got to get up and go around, I'll go do it for you. If you're sitting up there thinking, oh, well, you got 2 hands, you can get up and you got 2 feet. All right, that's just a mental note. I just know how you are. I respect it. I don't need to.
If you physically satisfy your woman often, she'll do whatever the fuck you want. We need to talk about that because a lot of men think they get married. Oh, the sex is over. Y'all marrying the wrong motherfuckers.
Wait a minute now. Hold on.
On next week's episode.
Oh shit, Gene. Listen. That's both ways. Because a lot of these women get married, then the sex is gone after they're married.
But I noticed the women that act like that with their men, because I know women like that. They're not the same.
What do you mean they're not the same?
Next week's episode.
What do you mean they're not the same?
They're a different breed. I don't get that. I never understood that.
You're already an anomaly. We know. Patrice
they're
said
breeding a whole lot of them. I can tell you that.
Patrice Johnson said,
Hold
it. Can I acknowledge these people?
No.
You know, I ain't used to somebody saying no, Negro. So Patrice said, you can't fill a gallon with a pint.
What?
But it takes several pints to fill a gallon.
Elsa said,
I'm confused.
This is what I want to give him. Assistant Nicole McClure said essence. Miss Yancey said too many. Bring it to the table. We got some new people. Lakeisha. I don't want to mess up your name.
That is Red. Lakeisha, leave her alone. That's Red. We call her Red.
I'm just gonna say Red then. I tend to have a very high standard for men, and the minute I see one thing off, I cut it off quickly. Damn,
girl.
Huh? Damn, you must be by yourself. Who said that?
Look,
she's alone. Ain't no question about that shit. She's alone right now.
We need to talk about that. I think sex drive is a big thing because the older I got, the worse it got. Meaning, I feel like I have more of an 18-year-old boy.
On next week's episode, yeah, girl, yes.
Well, let me, Gene. Do you think it's wrong, Gene? Let me ask you this: do you think it's wrong if when a man and a woman got together and in their relationship they had a lot of sex, right? And then when they get married, she kind of,
I think it's this fucking respectful.
And she'll answer that on next week's episode.
Men do it too.
Ain't it disrespectful?
If matter of fact, a lot of times it's the decisioning factor for.
But hold it. And then she wants the nigga to stay faithful.
No,
now she been fucking him every goddamn day, every week,
and then take
marry him. And now she doesn't want to give him no more. And then she want him to be faithful too.
Anything under 3 or 4 times a week is bad. But can I say this though?
Yeah.
When I was married, I stopped being attracted to him that way. I think it really is.
It happens. It happens. It really does.
It happens.
It wasn't the same, right?
But why?
So, but that's a whole nother story for that.
Yes, it is. We're gonna end
I'm
this
trying to
show.
get to the name, CJ.
Oh my gosh.
Michelle Misty said, perhaps being in love is a process of learning and coming into our true being. It's a live production. We must adapt to the hand dealt and respond with mutual respect. Judith Allen said, some people show and do things that look like love, but it's not. And love, I think, is spirit to spirit. I'm going to say something about women. You could just hear the word love, and there's a lot of women that will immediately interpret that as, oh, that he's in love with me.
And that's not true. I hear the word love, and I'm like, we'll see, motherfucker. We'll see.
Right. To be continued.
Right.
Continue.
Yeah. So we honestly know. We like to thank everybody for tuning in and joining.
You don't want me to say no more names? We got Patrice. I got names on here.
Oh, well, go ahead, because then we
have almost 600.
I won't read anymore. I was reading that for the sake because Leland asked me to read some. I'm trying not
to. Because I'm not seeing them because we're talking and I can't pay attention. They're going by so fast. I just want to know what they're saying. Because I saw them going up there. I'm like, God damn, they're coming.
I'm just going to say who we got. We got Ruben in the house, Elsa. We got Patrice Johnson. We got Brian. You got your boy Brian up in the house. You got Sika, Dave Culver, Luis, Miss Yancey, all over this page. She loves this topic. We got Neha, we got Adia.
Yeah, Brian.
Leland, you should already know if somebody loves you. Actions speak louder than the words. You got Prince, my boy Prince. But how do you know if you didn't? Like, hey, he's in agreement with you, CJ. He's like, how would you know if you didn't ask the question? We got Patricia, my girl Morgan. I need to talk to you, by the way, baby. We got to talk tonight. We got Michelle Missy. We got Sika. We got Laura Pritchett.
Love is a tricky word. Absolutely.
We have, man. Okay, so I'm going. Some of these comments, boy. Man. Woo, shit. Let me run yesterday. Louise Jeffries. Let's see. But man, this is a long thread, you guys. We've been on here for a while. Dorel.
100 comments.
And anybody else you want to go with, Jean Grey, if you want to holler out anybody else, and we're complete. We love you.
Yeah, Hannah the Hoe, Donna the Deep Driller, Peter the Pecker.
Deep Throat Sarah. Deep Throat Sarah. That ain't on there.
Oh, damn.
Millie the Moocher.
Minnie the Moocher?
Minnie the Moocher. The Moocher.
The Moocher.
The Moocher. Minnie the Moocher.
Minnie the Moocher. Everybody on here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, we love you from the bottom of our hearts.
We also want to give a big shout out to Sammy Davis Jr. Today is the day of his death. greatest entertainer that lived, black man we love. Yes.
And did y'all know Aunt Esther passed away?
Sagittarius.
Yes.
Aunt Esther passed away from what you call?
Aunt Esther
from Sanford and Son. Esther.
She passed away today too.
She passed away, I think, yesterday.
Hold on. Aunt Esther been dead about a good almost 10 years.
So was Sammy Davis Jr. been dead for a while?
On my phone today from Sanford and Son.
No. Oh, you were saying just the day of her death is today.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just like, she been dead quite a while.
I thought when you talking about Sammy Davis Jr. been dead quite a while.
Yeah. I was just, giving props because the day he died.
Leave Sammy alone.
That is so wrong. That is so wrong, Mr. Boy.
Y'all better call me on my birthday on the 16th.
You are a Sagittarius, and that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You being a Sagittarius, you're a Sagittarius. That makes a lot of sense.
Wait a minute, I told you the last time we talked about this astrology shit. I told you my rising sign is Cancer, so I am half Cancer. My rising is Cancer, but I got 3 planets in Sag: Sun, Moon, and Mercury.
No, you are definitely a Sagittarius.
Oh, I'm definitely Sag. I'm all fire.
My brother is a Sagittarius,
and my moon is in Taurus.
Yeah. All right, Byron, how you gonna wrap this up? Leland, no.
Happy birthday to your son Sean tomorrow, 26 years old.
Happy birthday, Sean.
He's a Sag.
Yes.
Lord,
yes.
Lord.
More alpha men
Byron,
in the world.
come on.
More alpha men in the world.
One thing I love about my brother that I'm gonna say that you don't have to ask me, I'm just gonna say it. You always know how to pull our show together with such just this. So go ahead and just do your thing.
Whew, this was a show.
Lord, it was.
Love you all.
We are in such gratitude for each one of you guys. Leland, you gonna join us next week? What's our topic next week?
What's that again?
Nothing.
CJ, calm down over there. Shit. I'm good.
How long you gonna drink out of that glass with nothing in it with a straw, Negro?
No, let me tell you. This is straight up tipsy. You done see me post some Hennessy? I post some Hennessy up, and this is straight Hennessy.
I know that's right.
That was after the second half of this conversation. I said, "Fuck y'all, I need to drink something."
Thanks for having me on, though. I had a fucking ball tonight.
I'm glad you know this ain't the first, and this ain't definitely ain't the last, man.
I'll come on. I'll come on here anytime y'all ask me to come on here.
Yes, I'll make sure I'm 45 minutes late.
You know what?
Who's late?
Who's late?
Come on, Byron.
So the reality of all this is, no matter what color, creed, animal you are, alien you are, where you come from, there's no biases here. There's no judgment. No. We love you just for supporting us. It's a non-judgmental space because, it's the street that we live on, which is called DGF. We don't give a fuck. So if we don't give a fuck, you shouldn't give a fuck. Just live your life. I mean, we created this just so we can have transparent, honest conversations, not worry about it. If we offended somebody, you probably shouldn't be on the show. We say much worse things to each other than you will ever hear.
Let's go right over there to the top.
But we know that most of you are our family and we love you. I mean, we truly have created a community here during this COVID time that is definitely an outlet. And if any of you, we have a page on Facebook, and we would love for you if you want to step up and jump in the fire and you want to, be on with us. We love to have a prolific, I heard Miss Yancey put up there. It's like, there's too much testosterone here. Trust me. That's a reverence and an applaud and a compliment to the female race that it takes one.
I'm just going to say that she definitely meant her too.
To be able to handle all 3 of these,
She always says I'm a man. I don't know what.
You hold her own, though. You be holding your own, girl.
You do, and so
I ain't mad at her. I'm not mad at you at all.
And you guys know I mostly bring my feminine side to this conversation so I can let my 2 family members talk and anybody else. So, whatever works.
I bring the European, the millennial side.
Jesus, that millennium shit. This dude.
It's okay.
Because we could be on here. We could just sit on there before we trigger anybody here, and we're on for another 3 hours.
For real.
We're gonna let CJ bro bring it out. If you're on for the first time, you're gonna love this. This is what we call the icing, or better, even better, the cherry on the best cake you've ever had in your life.
Bring it, CJ.
As CJ says, we have enough leftovers for you to share this and spread the love. Bring all your family and friends on that can handle the conversation next week. And we're going to let the cherry on top just be the Sunday in 1965 with a drive-in where blacks were allowed in Black Wall Street.
Hey! You're here, I'm pleased, I really dig your company, and your style, your smile, and your peace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me, I was blind, now I can see what good people supposed to be. Baby, I feel free, come on and with me, let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Find a spot for us to spark a conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, share our situation, temptation, education, relaxation, elevation. We can talk about Revelation 3:17. Background, it ain't squeaky clean shit. Sometimes we all got to swim upstream. You ain't a saint, we all a sinner, but you put your good foot down and make yourself a winner. I respect that, and you know that, cause you're all that plus supreme. Then you're humble, and I love the feeling. I can feel everything that you bring. Let's take a long walk around the park after dawn. Find a spot for us to spark conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, maybe share the situation, temptation, education, relaxation, elevation, or maybe we can talk about Zora 3118, or maybe we can see a movie, or maybe we can see a play on Saturday, or maybe we can roll a tree, feel the breeze, listen to a symphony, or maybe chillin' just be, or maybe we can take a cruise and listen to the roots, or maybe eat some birds and fruit, or maybe deal with the different vibe to the blue, or just be silent. Come on, let's take a long walk around the park after dawn. Find a spot for us to stop conversation, verbal elation, stimulate our situation, temptation, education, relaxation, elevation. Or maybe we can talk about how we'll one day all be free.
Ooh,
this has been the longest show ever, but it was
killed that one, CJ.
I felt that.
You killed that one. No, you did, bro. You killed
that was
you killed that one, son.
Yeah,
that was
good right there. Yeah. I felt that one. That was
yeah.
You fucked that up.
All right, Gene, bring the people back. Oh, I'm having one. Bring the people back in, Gene.
So at this point in time, you can bring those children back and senior citizens, because it really wasn't stayed out. But it's good that they're up, because you never know what's going to happen. So disclosure is over. Now we can move on and go about our evenings.
Well, y'all made me figure out my whole little situation over here to get this.
Hey, that's what it's about. We help people.
I like the fact that Leland has a phone number attached to his situation. So
we can do actually call-ins.
We're gonna have people call in next time. We're gonna have people call in.
And I can do this too. I can do the.
Hey!
I love it.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on Bring It to the Table.
That would be really cool. Call in. How do we do that?
Hello.
How do we get people to call in and hear their voice and have a conversation, and they can just.
So let's get off a line.
Brother. I told you, I got a studio here. I'm in a studio.
You got it? Excellent. We can we can talk about situationships.
And we are going to have people that are going to call in and to bring
we
it to
can
the
hear
table.
Them. We hear them in real time. They hear us.
We'll be able to hear them in real time. Thank you so much, Leland.
Ask the question, we can shut it off and then answer the question. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, this
Are we
is
done? Are we still on the fucking air?
we are done. Thank you
We're
all
still
so much
live.
for joining us for this
we
next
still
episode.
live?
For this episode of Bring It to the Table. Make sure you tell your friends, hashtag Bring It to the Table, and you also can find us on Facebook for The Leftovers. Thank you so much for
we were
listening.
still
We love
on?
y'all.
Oh,
and
shit.
we'll see y'all
Still
next
on.
week. We'll see y'all next
Oh,
week.
shit. I thought we was off.
I usually
No,
like,
we still on.
we still on the motherfuckers. Like,
And I'm
Jesus.
still